Naruto God Level System, Chapter 421-440. Chapter 421 Attack on Konoha. 2 days later, Akatsuki personnel geared up to target Konoha village. Sasuke Uchiha also put on Akatsuki's clothes, and stood there with indifferent eyes, and the cold and arrogant face made people a little unhappy. Hyuga-chen was wearing a kimono with both hands in his sleeves. He was not from Akatsuki, so naturally he would not wear their Akatsuki-style trench coat. Let's go. Nagato set off first with Pain 6 Paths, Kakuzu, Kisame Hoshigaki and the others followed. In Akatsuki, except for this intelligence officer, everyone else is here. Naoki, are you really determined to destroy Konoha? Hyuga-chen asked, looking at Naoki who was motionless. Naoki was silent for a moment, then clenched his fists and said, "It doesn't matter if you destroy Konoha or not, but that old Danzo must die." After speaking, Naoki jumped to follow. Hyuga-chen shook his head. He followed along just to join in the fun. Neither would he help Akatsuki, nor would he help Konoha. The group is very strong, and the speed of the road is also very fast, but it only took half a day to come from the country of rain to the outside of Konoha village. Afei, take us in. Nagato looked at the barrier in front of him and wanted Afei to use space ninjutsu to bring them in. You are so powerful, do you want to sneak in like this? Hyuga-chen asked in surprise. Nagato's expression was stunned. He had done a lot of sneaky things, and subconsciously forgot that they were here to destroy Konoha in an upright manner. Nagato, who had reacted to it, felt a little embarrassed, and angrily used Shinra Tensei, Almighty Push, to smash Konoha's protective barrier, which also affected a few allies by the way. Example, Kakuzu was affected by Nagato's Shinra Tensei, Almighty Push expedition, and his face suddenly showed dissatisfaction. If it wasn't for Nagato's strength to deter him, Kakuzu would have never flown past. Attack Konoha. The main target this time is Kyubi, Ninetales. First find Kyubi, Ninetales, Jinchuriki, Column Force. After Nagato finished speaking, he walked in with Pain 6 Paths. There are a large number of psychic beasts in the Animal Road, and various missiles and laser bombings of the Shira Road. The entire Konoha became chaotic in an instant, and Jiraiya in the Hokage office felt the powerful chakra fluctuations and stood up in an instant. What's going on? There seems to be more than one share of such a powerful chakra. Who is it? Jiraiya immediately went out without calling Anbu's investigation. As soon as I went out, I saw Nagato and Heavenly Path Pain floating in the air. Although Nagato has changed a lot now, Jiraiya who taught Nagato for a while still recognizes Nagato. Are you Nagato? Jiraiya asked quickly. Mr. Jiraiya, it's been a long time, but I didn't expect that we would meet again as an enemy. Nagato said lightly. Enemy? Jiraiya looked at Konoha who was in turmoil, and suddenly became vigilant. Nagato was invading Konoha, and looking at his clothes, he was Akatsuki's man. Nagato, why are you attacking Konoha? Jiraiya asked anxiously. Yuhi's eyes suddenly lit up. Teacher Jiraiya, for the sake of what you taught me, hand over the power of the Kyubi, Ninetales, Jinchuriki column, and I can save your life. Nagato said lightly. Nagato, why did you join Akatsuki? Did Mr. Jiraiya forget that Akatsuki was originally established by Yahiko and me? We also wrote to you to inform you. Maybe you have a lot of things to do and don't remember us at all. Nagato looked at Jiraiya indifferently. Jiraiya smiled bitterly. He did not know that Akatsuki's Yahiko and Nagato established the letter that Nagato said, and he did not receive it either. Speaking of the two disciples, Nagato and Yahiko, he really seldom cares about their situation. His teacher is really incompetent. Nagato, where is Yahiko now? Yahiko is dead. Nagato's eyes flickered, and the gloomy color was fleeting. Lord Hokage, Akatsuki's men are invading, we can't stop it. An Anbu ninja ran to inform Jiraiya, covered in blood. Jiraiya looked at Anbu ninja, and then at Konoha, who was in flames, her fists clenched tightly. Nagato, I will not allow anyone to destroy Konoha. I am Hokage now. Jiraiya jumped up. A big ball Rasengan appeared in her hand, and hit Nagato in the air. Any ninjutsu doesn't work for me, Nagato said flatly, reaching for big ball Rasengan and absorbing it. Nagato, why are you taking the evil way? It doesn't matter, I don't think I'm going the wrong way. Hand over the power of Kyuubi, Nine Tails Jinchuriki column. Nagato kicked Jiraiya off with one kick. Nagato confronts his former teacher, Jiraiya, and the rest of Akatsuki's are also involved. Guy fought with Kisame Hoshigaki relying on taijutsu. Guy, who didn't use the 8 inner gates, was still a little weaker, and was suppressed by Kisame Hoshigaki. Kakashi meets Uchiha Sasuke, both of whom are also mentors. Speaking of Hokage, the relationship between master and apprentice is very unstable, and the 3rd generation of Hokage was killed by Orochimaru. The 4th generation of Hokage Namikaze Minato also died indirectly in the hands of his own disciples. In the original work, Jiraiya also died in the hands of his own disciples. Now if Jiraiya continues to fight Nagato, it is estimated that the situation of death will not be changed. Kakuzu and Sarutobi Asuma fought together. To be honest, Sarutobi Asuma's strength is not strong, and there is a big gap between Kakuzu and Kakuzu. Asuma, do you see this masked man? He is Uchiha Obito, your great enemy. Hyuga-chan suddenly shouted. Sarutobi Asuma was stunned for a moment, Hatake Kakashi was also stunned for a moment, and Akatsuki's people were even more stunned. Uchiha Obito's face was ugly, but he didn't refute it. It doesn't matter who his identity is now. Uchiha Obito took off the mask and revealed his true face. The most unacceptable is Hatake Kakashi. Looking at Uchiha Obito, the movements in his hands stopped. Hatake Kakashi revealed such a big flaw. How could Sasuke Uchiha let it go? He wouldn't show mercy because Hatake Kakashi was his former teacher. Just when Uchiha Sasuke was about to stab Hatake Kakashi to death, Uchiha Obito suddenly grabbed Uchiha Sasuke's hand. Let me go, Uchiha Sasuke shouted coldly. Uchiha Obito gave Sasuke a cold look, then kicked him out. Kill his good friend, can Uchiha Obito let him kill? Absolutely impossible. Seeing the two people looking at each other, Hyuga-chen felt a rush in his stomach instantly. You two managed to make me sick. Uchiha Obito, you will kill me. Sarutobi Asuma's potential exploded, and Kakuzu flew out at once, killing Uchiha Obito. Uchiha Obito shattered his lifeblood. This hatred, like killing his father, completely stimulated Sarutobi Asuma, and his strength increased a lot. Chapter 422, Impure World Reincarnation. Previous Hokage. Uchiha Obito, I must kill you. Sarutobi Asuma held 2 chakra knives and slashed towards Uchiha Obito. Uchiha Obito didn't even look at Sarutobi Asuma, letting him slash with 2 chakra knives. Every time he passed through Uchiha Obito, Sarutobi Asuma wanted to vomit blood. The enemy was in front of him, but he couldn't kill it. Obito, I didn't expect you to be alive. Why didn't you return to Konoha? You were the one who attacked Konoha in the first place, right? The 4th generation teacher died because of you, right? Why? Hatake Kakashi asked incomprehensibly. In fact, Hatake Kakashi wished that Obito was dead more than Obito was alive in this capacity. Uchiha Obito looked at Hatake Kakashi's incomprehensible eyes, and finally smiled silently, and didn't look at Hatake Kakashi again after that. Turned around and kicked Sarutobi Asuma out. Although Sarutobi Asuma exploded, he was not the protagonist. The explosion was only for a moment. Kicked out by Obito, when Uchiha Sasuke suddenly stabbed Sarutobi Asuma with his sword. The Kusanagi sword pierced into the heart of Sarutobi Asuma. Sarutobi Asuma glanced at Uchiha Obito unwillingly, and then fell down completely. Even though he was dead, Sarutobi Asuma's eyes still stared at Uchiha Obito's direction. Shows how much Sarutobi Asuma is Uchiha Obito. Asuma just got the lunch. Hyuga-chen looked at Sarutobi Asuma, who was killed by Uchiha Sasuke's back. Killing Sarutobi Asuma Uchiha Sasuke looked at Uchiha Obito coldly. As a very vengeful person, how could Uchiha Sasuke not remember the kick Uchiha Obito gave him just now? Uchiha Sasuke could attack Uchiha Obito. Hatake Kakashi got angry. Uchiha Sasuke, you are so unrepentant. Hatake Kakashi rushed towards Uchiha Sasuke. This time Hatake Kakashi didn't hold back. Just now Hatake Kakashi chose to keep his hand, not wanting to hurt Uchiha Sasuke, and now Hatake Kakashi is completely angry. Because of Akatsuki's invasion, the whole Konoha is in chaos. Nara Shikaku, Akamichi Choza and Yamanaka Inoichi team up to drag Kakuzu to death. The Inoshika Cho team is very strong, and it is not impossible to kill Cage level. If Kakuzu hadn't had a few brushes, he might have been killed. The remaining patriarchs of the major families surrounded Uchiha Obito together, not asking to kill him, but also to hold him back. The fight was really intense. Hyuga Chen sat on the Hokage building, watching the fight below. At this time, the power that Konoha burst out can also temporarily resist Akatsuki, but after a long time, Konoha is definitely not an opponent. Unless Guy opens the 8th door. If Guy opens the 8th door, among the Akatsuki, it is estimated that only Uchiha Obito is likely to escape. This is only possible to escape, even if there is a slight flaw, Uchiha Obito will be killed. The forbidden technique of the 8 inner gates is indeed powerful, but the side effects are also great, which is to exchange life for strength. Naoki was ent here. He went to the root tissue to find Danzo. It is estimated that he has found Danzo by now. You can tell by the sudden emergence of a forest where the root tissue is located. Master Jiraiya, it's over. Nagato stabbed Jiraiya's body with a black stick. Jiraiya's body swayed, and it felt like life was passing by. Nagato, don't do anything wrong again. Jiraiya spoke again, disregarding her injuries. No matter what I do, it has nothing to do with Jiraiya teacher, you can go in peace. Nagato took out another black stick and pierced Jiraiya's heart. Jiraiya died in the hands of Nagato, to be precise, in the flank of Nagato and Heavenly Path Pain. 1 + 1 is greater than 2. Jiraiya was killed by Nagato before he could even open Sage Mode. The main thing is that Jiraiya is unfamiliar with Rinnegan, and Nagato is clean and neat, not giving Jiraiya a chance to use Sage Mode at all. Jiraiya who does not use Sage Mode and Jiraiya who uses Sage Mode are completely two people. Jiraiya who lost his life, Nagato stood in front of Jiraiya, not knowing what he was thinking. It's still a step too late. Is this guy Jiraiya dead? Orochimaru looked at Jiraiya who was already dead with a slight sadness on his face. Alas, Jiraiya, the third-generation Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed with a painful expression on his face. He didn't expect to see his disciple die just after being resurrected by impure world reincarnation. That's right, Orochimaru used impure world reincarnation to resurrect Sarutobi Hiruzen. Not only Sarutobi Hiruzen, but also the first Hokage, the second Hokage, and the fourth Hokage were resurrected by impure world reincarnation. Orochimaru borrowed the Mask of Death, cut his abdomen to release the soul swallowed by death, restored his hands, and resurrected all the previous Hokage by the way. As for Orochimaru's purpose, his purpose has always been unclear. Orochimaru. Nagato frowned when he saw Orochimaru and the 4 Hokages behind Orochimaru. Uncle Jiraiya, Uzumaki Naruto, who had just returned from Mount Myoboku, rushed over when he saw Jiraiya lying on the ground. Looking at Jiraiya's icy corpse, Uzumaki Naruto's expression was a little painful. Kyuubi, Ninetales, Jinchuriki, Column Force came to the door by himself. Nagato grabbed Uzumaki Naruto sharply. Originally seeing Uzumaki Naruto, Namikaze Minato's face sank with some surprise, and he used Hiraishin's technique to save Uzumaki Naruto in an instant. Who are you? Uzumaki asked, looking up at the man who gave him a familiar air. I'll tell you when the enemy is resolved, and now you hurry up and hide. Namikaze Minato said. From Orochimaru, Namikaze Minato has learned the purpose of the so-called Akatsuki. Uzumaki Naruto is his son. Namikaze Minato won't let them get away from Kyuubi, Nine Tails. No, I want to avenge the lecherous immortal. Uzumaki Naruto looked at Nagato angrily. Hand over the power of Kyuubi, Nine Tails, Jinchuriki column, otherwise the whole Konoha will not be left behind. Nagato said coldly. What a big tone, I'll see if you have that strength. Senju Tobirama said coldly. That's the smell of Mokuden, wood style. Senju Hashirama looked into the distance. The smell of Mokuden, wood style. Senju Tobirama was also attracted by the words of his elder brother, and looked into the distance as well. There seems to be Danzo's root organization base. Is there something wrong? Sarutobi Hiruzen looked worried. Orochimaru, you really can toss. Hyuga Chen came over. Seeing Hyuga Chen, Sarutobi Hiruzen's expression sank. Ten-kun, are you also here to destroy Konoha? Orochimaru asked. Destroy Konoha? I don't have the time, I'm just here to play. Orochimaru was relieved to hear that. If Hyuga Tatsu stood on Akatsuki's side, it would be troublesome. Chapter 423 Akatsuki is going to roll over. Who are you? Are you with them? Senju Tobirama looked at Hyuga Chen with a bad look. I'm Tsunade's husband, are you satisfied? Hyuga Chen glanced at Senju Tobirama. Little Tsunade's husband. Little Tsunade's husband is so young. Could it be that little Tsunade's old cow eats young grass? Senju Hashirama said while pinching his chin. Hyuga-chan watched Senju Hashirama unable to complain. Is that what you said about your granddaughter? If Tsunade was here, I'm afraid he would kill him. No, he seems to be dead. You're Tsunade's husband. What about Tsunade? Senju Tobirama asked, frowning. How could Tsunade not be seen after such a big thing happened to Konoha? Sarutobi Hiruzen said with an embarrassed expression. Two teachers, Tsunade is not in Konoha now. Not in Konoha. Senju Hashirama and Senju Tobirama looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen. It's not a Konoha person anymore. Your granddaughter has become a missing nin. By the way, I am also a missing nin. Hyuga-chan took out the scratched forehead guard. What? Little Tsunade has become a missing nin. Senju Hashirama looked shocked. Sarutobi, what's going on? Senju Tobirama asked, looking at Sarutobi Hiruzen. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked embarrassed, which made him say, tell them, not only Tsunade became missing nin, but Naoki also became missing nin. Two teachers, this is not the time to discuss these. Sarutobi Hiruzen quickly changed the subject. Sarutobi Hiruzen is right, and now is not the time to discuss this. Nagato looked at the people who ignored him and started chatting, and immediately became angry, too disrespecting him as a human being. Shinra Tensai, Almighty Push, sign. Hyuga Chen left instantly, so as not to bring disaster to Chiyu. The previous Hokage, who was released by Impure World Reincarnation, did not avoid it. Impure World Reincarnation is not afraid of death. Anyway, they are already dead, so what are they afraid of? People who come out of Impure World Reincarnation cannot be killed, they have the body of immortality, they can be resurrected again after being killed, and the chakra is infinite. At this time, Orochimaru was already a perfect Impure World Reincarnation, and he could basically use most of his strength before birth. Naruto, hurry up. Namikaze Minato shielded Naruto and said to Uzumaki Naruto immediately after the attack was over. No, I'm not leaving, I must avenge the lecherous immortal. Naruto's eyes were open to Yuhi, and six tails suddenly burst out from behind. Namikaze Minato looked at Naruto who suddenly entered the tail beast mode, and was shocked, but when he saw that Naruto was able to keep his senses, he immediately relaxed. Namikaze Minato also did not persuade Uzumaki to leave, and the power of Kyuubi, Nine Tails broke out. Now Naruto is enough to protect himself. Don't forget our promise, Orochimaru reminded the four Hokages. Orochimaru resurrected them through Impure World Reincarnation is not free, Orochimaru resurrected them to get Rinnegan through them. He can't grab it by himself, but he can rely on others to grab it. Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes flickered. It was too dangerous for Orochimaru to get Rinnegan. Sarutobi Hiruzen had decided in his heart that he would destroy Rinnegan in a while. Even if Rinnegan is destroyed, Orochimaru must not get it, or who knows what he will do. Leave this kid with Rinnegan to me. You guys go and deal with the others, Senju Hashirama said. Senju Tobirama nodded, then turned his attention to Kakuzu, and quickly shot to destroy one of Kakuzu's mask monsters. At the same time, Namikaze Minato also shot, targeting his disciple Uchiha Obito. Obito, long time no see. Didn't expect you to be alive. Namikaze Minato looked at Uchiha Obito complicatedly. Just listening to the discussion, he already knew that Uchiha Obito was the masked man back then. Minato-sensei, I didn't expect to see you again. Uchiha Obito's eyes were equally complicated. Although I don't know why you did this, Obito, but as an incompetent teacher, I hope you can turn back and I won't blame you. Going back. I've made my path firm, I won't go back, and there's no turning back. Uchiha Obito took out his kunai and said lightly. 16 years later, the battle of master and apprentice broke out again, and Namikaze Minato was in the state of impure world reincarnation, with immortality and infinite chakra. Similarly, Uchiha Obito is not the Uchiha Obito of the year. It is really unknown who will win this battle. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at it. Guy and Kisame Hoshigaki's battle. Guy who opened the 7 doors now has the upper hand, and he doesn't need his help at all. So Sarutobi Hiruzen looked into the distance, ready to see how his good friend Danzo was doing. Sarutobi Hiruzen is still very concerned about Danzo's situation. Nagato took a look, then manipulated Pain 6 paths to capture Uzumaki Naruto, who came to deal with the legendary god of ninjas. This time Nagato wants to rectify his name. There is only one god in the ninja world, and that is Nagato. As for Senju Hashirama, the god of ninjas, that's a thing of the past. Super Shinra Tensei Almighty Push Levy. Nagato flew in midair and released the Shinra Tensei Almighty Push Levy with all his strength, which was enough to destroy the entire Konoha village. Not good. Senko, Sage Art Mokuden, Wood Style, the art of the cloth bag. Senju Hashirama instantly enters Sage mode, and then uses Mokuden, Wood Style, to create a Mokuden, Wood Style palm in a circle, wrapping Nagato in it. Senju Hashirama's previous attack through Nagato already knew that the opponent's ninjutsu was an all-round attack. Although Senju Hashirama is not afraid, it does not mean that other people in Konoha are not afraid. So Senju Hashirama has to block all attacks. Although it is wood, the wood made by Mokuden, Wood Style, is stronger than steel. Not to mention this is Senko, Sage Art Mokuden, Wood Style, which successfully blocked the Super Shinra Tensei Almighty Push sign of Nagato. Hyuga Chen shook his head. Nagato was probably about to be hanged and beaten. Although he had Rinnegan, Nagato was no match for the first Hokage at all. It should be said that it is far from an opponent, but the Super Shinra Tensei Almighty Push expedition consumes a lot of chakra, and with Nagato's strength, it can't be used a few times at all. It seems a little troublesome to be able to fly. Senju Hashirama looked at Nagato flying in the sky and scratched his head. On the other side, Uzumaki Naruto with 6 tails exploded against Pain 6 paths. Although he was suppressed, because Nagato could not concentrate on Pain 6 paths in the air, Uzumaki Naruto still had a chance to breathe. Even Uzumaki Naruto destroyed the human realm once, but it was repaired by the Hell Realm, and the Hell Realm can repair the other 5 realms. You can't beat Pain 6 paths without destroying the Hell paths first, and of course you can choose to run out of Nagato chakra. However, Nagato is a member of the Uzumaki family, and there are quite a few chakras. Although they can't be compared with Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara, they are not much worse than ordinary tailed beasts. Although Naruto Uzumaki has Kyuubi 9 tails, his Kyuubi 9 tails is only half, and he has not exerted the full power of half Kyuubi 9 tails, so he really can't beat Pain 6 paths. Battle has heated up, and Akatsuki's personnel are all in a hard fight, and they will overturn this time. Chapter 424, The Death of Danzo. Danzo, give me death. Naoki pierced Danzo with kunai, killing Danzo again. Naoki has killed Danzo several times, but every time Danzo will activate Izanagi. Watching Danzo keep dying, Naoki will die of anger. Anyone who killed Danzo more than a dozen times would get impatient. Danzo appeared behind Naoki with a gloomy face. He was no longer able to release ninjutsu, because although Izanagi defied the sky, he consumed a lot of chakra. Now his last Sharingan, Shisui's Mangekyo Sharingan, is closed. In order to save his life, Danzo also used Mangekyo Sharingan. Naoki wanted to vomit blood, but Danzo wasn't dead. Did you know that I killed you and wanted to vomit? You shouldn't have Mangekyo Sharingan to save your life this time. I'll see how you die this time. Naoki roared in extreme anger. Stop Naoki. The stick in Sarutobi Hiruzen's hand blocked Naoki's kunai. 3 generations of Hokage. Naoki looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen in shock. Hasn't the 3rd generation of Hokage been dead for more than 3 years? How to cheat now? At it, Naoki finally realized that something was wrong, because the 3 generations of Hokage were abnormal, and he was now like a ceramic piece that was spliced together after being shattered, with cracks all over his body. Naoki doesn't care whether the 3 generations of Hokage are now dead or alive, and now the 3 generations of Hokage stop him from killing Danzo. That is his enemy. Stop Naoki, said the 3rd Hokage, standing in front of Danzo. 3 generations of Hokage, today I have to kill Danzo, and no one can stop me. Mokuden wood style World of Trees wall. Use Mokuden wood style to create a small forest. Everything in this forest is made of Naoki dominates. The branches and roots flexibly strangled towards Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo. At this time, Danzo's chakra was exhausted, and he was almost like an ordinary person. Of course, he couldn't resist. So Sarutobi Hiruzen can only protect Danzo. Naoki, do you want me to stop Sarutobi Hiruzen for you? Hyuga-chen appeared behind Naoki in an instant. Naoki was taken aback, turned his head cautiously, and was relieved to see that it was Hyuga-chen. Why are you so elusive, and you're always behind me, almost scaring me to death, Naoki complained. Okay, stop talking nonsense. Do you need me to help you stop Sarutobi Hiruzen, or you won't have the chance to kill Danzo in a while? Naoki nodded and said, well, you help me stop the 3 generations of Hokage. I must kill this guy Danzo today. Hyuga-chen, don't meddle in your business. Sarutobi Hiruzen snapped. How can you be a nosy? Naoki is my brother-in-law, I'm not a nosy. Hyuga-chen said with a smile. You. Before Sarutobi Hiruzen could finish speaking, countless golden flashes broke Sarutobi Hiruzen into swirling shards. There is no Sarutobi Hiruzen now, you go and kill Danzo. Hyuga-chen said. Danzo's face is ugly, he really doesn't have a trace of chakra now. Even if he wants to die with Naoki, he doesn't have that ability. Naoki walked towards Danzo with anger in his eyes. Today I will kill you to avenge my Senju clan. Naoki's kunai pierced Danzo's heart. This time Danzo really didn't have Sharingan to cast Izanagi, otherwise he wouldn't be willing to use Mangekyo Sharingan to cast Izanagi just now. Feeling the slowly passing vitality and the increasingly heavy eyelids, Danzo's eyes were filled with unwillingness. He has not yet become Hokage. When Hokage is Danzo's lifelong dream, even if it is Hokage for one day, Danzo will be satisfied. But there is no such day. With unwillingness in his heart, Danzo closed his eyes forever. Danzo, who stirred up the storm in Konoha, finally died. Sarutobi Hiruzen, whose body was shattered, had just recovered when he saw Danzo close his eyes, and Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't help showing a touch of sadness. Alas, maybe this is Danzo's life. Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed and left helplessly. How do you feel after killing Danzo? Hyuga-chen asked, patting Naoki on the shoulder. I don't feel anything. but I feel empty in my heart, as if I have lost my goal. Naoki said in confusion. Bitch is hypocritical. Your grandfather was resurrected by Orochimaru using impure world reincarnation. Do you want to go and see? Grandpa is resurrected. I'll go and see. I haven't seen what my grandpa looks like. Naoki said, scratching his head. Senju Hashirama died when Naoki was not born. Naoki did not see Senju Hashirama. The stone statues and photos can only be roughly understood. Then go. You said that if your grandfather knew that you became missing nin, would he break your leg? Hyuga-chen looked at Naoki playfully. Yes, probably not. You'll know if you go and have a look. Hyuga-chen stepped out of here. At this time the root organization had completely disappeared, and all the ninjas of the root organization were killed by Naoki. The battle is drawing to a close, and Kakuzu is tragically beheaded by Senju Tobarama. Senju Hashirama, the god of ninjas, but was killed by Senju Hashirama's younger brother, Senju Tobarama, and he was very easy to deal with. Kisame Hoshigaki was pressed and beaten by Guy who opened the 7 doors. No, it should be said that he was beaten by hanging. Kisame Hoshigaki had no strength to fight back. Guy who opened the 7 gates was not easy, his body was severely overloaded, and the side effects of the 7th gate were also very big. Opening it for a long time would also kill people. Namikaze Minato and Uchiha Obito are 5-5. In terms of strength, Uchiha Obito should be stronger now, but Namikaze Minato has an immortal body, so Uchiha Obito can't help Namikaze Minato. Uzumaki Nagato consumes a lot. After all, he is equivalent to dealing with the first Hokage and Uzumaki Naruto at the same time. Uzumaki Naruto, who burst out with 6 tails, is not weak, and it is not so easy to deal with. What's more, Uzumaki Nagato has to face the first-generation Hokage, known as the God of Ninjas. If Nagato hadn't been able to fly, he would have been beaten down now. The battle between Uchiha Sasuke and Hitaki Kakashi is still fierce, but Kakashi seems to be unable to hold on, and his chakra can't keep up. 5.3 inches Naoki, Akatsuki's situation doesn't seem to be very good now. I think you should make plans earlier. Get out now. Hyuga-chen turned around and said. Indeed, it looks like I'm going to quit Akatsuki and find another way out. Naoki nodded in agreement. Looking at this scene, they Akatsuki are probably going to be destroyed. Is that my grandfather? Naoki looked at Senju Hashirama who was controlling the wooden dragon to smash Nagato. Why does it feel like a wooden dragon, but the one I cast is not that strong? Naoki asked suspiciously. Your grandfather is using Senpo, Sage Art Mokuden, wood style, now. Entering Sage mode, the power of ninjutsu is doubled, which is not comparable to ordinary ninjutsu. Hyuga-chen explained to him. So it is. Naoki nodded. He also knew Sage mode, but he never thought about learning. Now, seeing his grandfather's powerful Mokuden, wood style, the idea of learning Sage mode also arises in his heart. Chapter 425 Capture Uzumaki Naruto. Chen, will you be in Sage mode? Naoki looked at Hyuga-chen and asked expectantly. I do, but there's no way you want me to teach you. Hyuga-chen didn't have time to teach Naoki Sage mode, but reached out and took a scroll from his pocket and handed it to Naoki, who was a little lost. This is the psychic contract scroll of Shikatsu Forest. After you sign it, you can go to study in Shikatsu Forest. Your grandfather also studied in Shikatsu Forest. As for whether the Slug Fairy will teach you, that is your business. Naoki took the scroll in surprise, then immediately signed his name on it and stamped the blood handprint. This psychic scroll originally belonged to Senju's family, or Tsunade gave him the scroll. Tsunade wanted him to sign the psychic contract, but Hyuga-chen didn't sign it. Boom. Long. Hearing the explosion, Hyuga-chen looked to the side and forward. The purple 100-meter-high Susanoo stood tall, and the evil chakra aura shocked his mind. Is this a Susanoo, or a full Susanoo? Senju Hashirama, who was fighting Nagato, was surprised. Unexpectedly, since the death of Uchiha Madara, there are still people who can get the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Oh 9. The Uchiha family. Senju Tobarama frowned, with disgust in his eyes. Senju Tobarama is not Senju Hashirama, who once fought with the Uchiha family for a long time, and the hatred between the two families has gone deep into the bone marrow. Senju Tobarama has the disgust of the Uchiha clan in his heart, so his prejudice against the Uchiha clan has always existed and has not disappeared even now. Senpo, Sage Art Gate of the Great God. Nagato, who was still struggling, was instantly suppressed, and the chakra of his body was sealed. This was a sealing technique that even Ten Tails could temporarily suppress. Nagato couldn't break free, so he could only lie on the ground in humiliation, looking at Senju Hashirama unwillingly. I didn't expect another genius from the Uchiha family, Senju Hashirama said with admiration. Give me death. Susanoo's blade slashed towards Kakashi. Young man, you can't let you destroy Konoha. A wooden figure half a head taller than Uchiha Sasuke Susanoo blocked Susanoo's blade. The shock wave from the collision caused Konoha's house to collapse countless times. You are also a ninja who came out of Konoha. Why are you attacking Konoha? Senju Hashirama asked solemnly, standing on top of the wooden figure. Who are you, dare to stop me? Uchiha Sasuke looked directly at Senju Hashirama with anger on his face. Uchiha Sasuke doesn't know Senju Hashirama at all. Although he has seen the statue of Senju Hashirama, there is still a big gap between the statue and the real person. It's not surprising that Sasuke Uchiha doesn't recognize Senju Hashirama. Death to me, I must destroy Konoha today. Uchiha Sasuke's eyes burned with hatred. Seeing the hatred in Uchiha Sasuke's eyes, Senju Hashirama suddenly frowned. Although I don't know why you hate Konoha, but if you want to destroy Konoha, I will never agree. Konoha village is Senju Hashirama's lifelong effort, and it is also a dream he has had since he was a child. Although he is already dead, he should not care about the living, but he must not sit idly by and let Konoha be destroyed. Big brother, don't talk nonsense with him. The Uchiha family doesn't have a good thing. Big brother, you should have killed the Uchiha family instead of accepting Uchiha softly. Senju Tobarama suddenly interjected. His interjection stimulated Uchiha Sasuke. Damn you all. Uchiha Sasuke growled, controlling Susanoo to take a few steps back, and a large bow appeared in Susanoo's hand. The light group in the other hand suddenly turned into a bow and arrow burning with jet black flames. Arrow shot through Senju Hashirama's wooden figurine, and the arrow hit the Hokage building unabated. The Hokage building was blasted with an arrow, burning in pitch black flames. On Senju Hashirama's wooden figurine, black flames of Amaterasu also spread, burning the wooden figurine constantly. As expected of the protagonist Susanoo, this power is indeed powerful. Hyuga Chen said. This arrow is indeed powerful. According to Hyuga-chan's estimation, even if there is a mountain, it can be shot and exploded, and a wooden man who can pierce through Senju Hashirama can demonstrate its power. Now Senju Hashirama is in Sage mode and uses Sage Art wooden figures, which are not as hard as ordinary wooden figures. This is the flame of Amaterasu. The sealing team quickly seal these flames. Sarutobi Hiruzen instructed. The flame of Amaterasu will not go out unless it completely burns out the target, which is very tricky. Bump. The wooden man kicked Susanoo out with one punch, and this punch directly knocked Uchiha Sasuke and Susanoo out of Konoha village. Senju Hashirama relieves Wood Golem Jutsu, and now Wood Golem Jutsu is infected with Amaterasu Black Flame. Senju Hashirama has no good way to Amaterasu Black Flame. Amaterasu Black Flames. Senju Hashirama chased after him. Watching this scene, Uchiha Obito's eyes flickered, and he repulsed Namikaze Minato, and then came to Nagato, who was sealed and unable to move. Nagato looked at Uchiha Obito, instinctively feeling bad. What are you going to do? It's nothing, I'm just retrieving the Rinnegan that doesn't belong to you. Uchiha Obito reached out and dug out Nagato's eyes. Nagato was unable to move, and Uchiha Obito had his eyes gouged out miserably. At the same time, two large snakes were biting towards Uchiha Obito. Uchiha Obito immediately used Kamui to blur to avoid being swallowed by the big snake. Orochimaru. Uchiha Obito looked coldly at Orochimaru standing in the distance. It's all Orochimaru bad things today. If it wasn't for Orochimaru, now they won Kyuubi, Nine Tails, in 203. Hand over Rinnegan. Orochimaru stared dangerously at Uchiha Obito. HMPH, Rinnegan is not something you can peep. Uchiha Obito took a few steps back, and the corner of his eye suddenly shifted to Uzumaki Naruto not far away. At this time, Uzumaki Naruto had already withdrawn from the tailed beast form, and was sitting on the ground in a bad state. Uchiha Obito instantly approached Uzumaki Naruto and took out the kunai around his neck. Namikaze Minato was in a hurry, annoyed in his heart that he was not optimistic about Uchiha Obito, and let him seize the opportunity to approach Naruto. Minato, sensei, as long as you dare to move, I will kill him. Uchiha Obito looked at Namikaze Minato who was moving, and immediately warned. Namikaze Minato didn't dare to move for a moment, he couldn't gamble with his son's life. The rash shot not only failed to save Naruto, but also harmed him. Uchiha Obito captured Uzumaki Naruto, also recovered Rinnegan, and is now ready to retreat. Hokage has been here for all ages, it is impossible to destroy Konoha, and Uchiha Obito's goal was never to destroy Konoha. His goal is only Kyuubi, Nine Tails, and now that Kyuubi, Nine Tails, has arrived, he will not retreat. Kisame Hoshigaki, who was still alive, he couldn't care about Kisame Hoshigaki at this time, and used Kamui to absorb himself and Uzumaki Naruto into the Kamui space and left Konoha. Chapter 426 Rescue Nawaki, who was evaded by Naruto. Namikaze Minato watched Uchiha Obito escape, and took his son Uzumaki Naruto away, smashing the ground angrily. Orochimaru's face was equally ugly, because the Rinnegan he wanted was actually taken away by Uchiha Obito. Nagato, who lost his eyes, was lying on the ground. He didn't expect it to end like this. He knew that he should have killed that guy Uchiha Obito. Maybe from the beginning, I shouldn't have cooperated with that guy. Nagato muttered to himself silently. Kisame Hoshigaki was finally killed by Guy, and died under Guy's seventh door, Hirohito. Killed Kisame Hoshigaki, Guy lifted the 8 inner gates and sat on the ground helplessly. Although Kisame Hoshigaki was killed, Guy was also badly wounded. No, we have to find a way to save Naruto. Namikaze Minato walked around anxiously, blaming himself. Minato-sensei, I have a way to save Naruto. Hatake Kakashi walked over and said. Kakashi, do you have a solution? Namikaze Minato grabbed Kakashi's arms in surprise. Thanks to the eyes Obito once gave me. Hatake Kakashi touched his left eye. The two Mangekyo Sharingans restrained each other, and Kakashi could also enter the Kamui space with his left eye, but it was dangerous. But with Namikaze Minato, there is no danger, he just needs to open the passage to Kamui space. Kakashi uses the Kamui Hitomi technique to open the passage to Kamui space, while Namikaze Minato grabs Kakashi, who already feels the connection with the Hiraishin mark on Obito. Use the Hiraishin technique to bring Kakashi into the Kamui space. But it was too late when they entered. Uchiha Obito had already extracted the Kyuubi, Nine Tails, from Uzumaki Naruto. And Kakashi entering the Kamui space, Uchiha Obito was startled, then activated Kamui, and left Kamui space with Kyuubi, Nine Tails. Now that Kyuubi, Nine Tails, is in hand, there's no need to fight Namikaze Minato and the rest. Minato-sensei, Naruto. Kakashi knows very well that once the human Jinchuriki column force is pulled out of the tailed beast from the body, there is only one way to go. Although Kakashi knew that Gaara was pulled away from the tail beast and did not die, but Gaara was an accident, that is, Chiyo's mother-in-law rescued Gaara using a secret technique. Naruto is still breathing, he is still alive, let's get out of here now. Namikaze Minato checked Uzumaki Naruto, then heaved a sigh of relief. As long as Naruto isn't dead now, it's fine. Kakashi nodded. Although he didn't know how Namikaze Minato would save him, Kakashi believed that Namikaze Minato would not joke about his son's life. Using Kamui again, Namikaze Minato takes Kakashi out of the Kamui space. Looking at the unconscious Uzumaki Naruto, Namikaze Minato sealed the other half of Kyuubi, Nine Tails, in his body on Uzumaki Naruto's body. In fact, Namikaze Minato doesn't know whether this method works or not, but at this time, he can only use a dead horse as a living horse doctor. To Namikaze Minato's relief, this method really worked, and Uzumaki Naruto's life stopped flowing. At this time, Senju Hashirama also came back, and Senju Tobirama hurried up to meet him. "Big brother, where's the kid from the Uchiha family? According to my estimation, it should be let go." Hyuga-chan walked over with Naoki. Senju Hashirama shook his head awkwardly. Yes, Uchiha Sasuke was really let go by him. "What, big brother, did you really let the little devil of the Uchiha family go? Do you know how much disaster this will cause?" Senju Tobirama was trembling with anger. He really didn't know what to say about his big brother. "Okay, Tobirama, stop talking, little monkey, I ask you, how did the Uchiha family perish?" Senju Hashirama looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen seriously. Sarutobi Hiruzen bowed his head with a wry smile. At this time he really couldn't say anything. Hey, why didn't you ask how the Senju family perished?" Hyuga-chan couldn't help but interject. "The Senju family is dead. How is this possible?" Senju Tobirama jumped up. Senju Hashirama's expression froze. He didn't expect the Senju family to perish too. Now the entire Senju clan, only Tsunade and Naoki are left, should be considered extinct. Hyuga-chan said lightly. "The three super families in Hokage, except the Hyuga family, the other two families perished." "Who is Naoki?" Senju Hashirama asked suspiciously. "He's Naoki, and your grandson." Hyuga-chan pushed Naoki. Naoki looked at Senju Hashirama with a complex look in his eyes. "Grandpa, I'm Naoki." Senju Hashirama sensed the rich aura of life on Naoki's body and laughed. "As expected of the descendants of my Senju Hashirama, there is such a strong aura of life on me, ha ha ha." Hyuga-chan looked at Senju Hashirama who was laughing, and wanted to say that it had something to do with wool. If it wasn't for Hyuga-chan's medicine for Naoki's sage body, Naoki would never have such a strong breath of life, let alone awaken Mokuden wood style. "You stay here, I'm leaving," Hyuga-chan said to Naoki, then turned and left. Hey, what should I do if you leave?" Naoki wanted to cry without tears. He is now a missing nin. Is it really good to stay in Konoha? It's okay, even if you are missing nin, but you are not the grandson of the original Hokage. Now that your grandfather is here, what can you do? A black space cave appeared in front of him, and Hyuga-chan stepped in and disappeared. "What a brilliant space ninjutsu, much better than the Hiraishin you created." Senju Hashirama patted Senju Tobirama on the shoulder. "Big brother, now is not the time to pay attention to this, he just said that Naoki is missing nin." Senju Tobirama said helplessly. Senju Hashirama smiled, then patted Naoki on the shoulder, so he didn't get nervous. "Naoki, I don't ask how you became missing nin, but Konoha village is the hard work of our Senju family. Even if you become missing nin, you shouldn't come back to attack Konoha. Come back to Konoha, I'm sure no one will blame you." After that, Senju Hashirama launched the mouth cannon skill on Naoki, and Naoki was done with a few words. Under Senju Hashirama's mouth, Naoki decided to reform himself and protect Konoha in the future. Naoki was persuaded by Senju Hashirama in this way, and of course it was also because Naoki didn't hate Konoha. He hated Danzo and the third Hokage, and now that they're all dead, Naoki's resentment is gone. By the way, who is that Hyuga-chen? A member of the Hyuga family. But why is there no Byakugan? Is he really my grandson-in-law? Senju Hashirama asked suddenly. Indeed. Naoki nodded. He and Tsunade are missing Nin too. Naoki nodded again. Then why did they defect from the village? Senju Tobarama asked. Naoki shook his head and didn't say anything because he didn't know the specifics either. When Senju Tobarama wanted to ask again, he was stopped by Senju Hashirama. Senju Tobarama glanced at his elder brother, and then stopped asking. Chapter 427 5 Shadows Talk. I haven't seen you for a few days, why did you go? As soon as Hyuga-chan came back, she was surrounded by girls. Hyuga-chan's head was full of question marks, and then she looked at Hyuga Hanabi who was smiling in the distance, wanting to teach this little girl a lesson. Come here, Hanabi, Hyuga-chan shouted with a sullen face. Hanabi is not stupid, knowing that the past will definitely be taught a lesson, she will not pass. I told Hanabi when I left, and asked Hanabi to tell you that I went to Akatsuki. Hyuga-chan said, looking at the girls spreading their hands. Is that so, Hanabi? Kushina leaned in and asked. Originally, Hanabi wanted to lie, but seeing Hyuga-chan's gloomy face, he immediately explained it honestly. Hanabi, who honestly explained, was naturally taught a lesson. He didn't need Hyuga-chan to take action. Hanabi was taught obediently and said that there would be no next time. Akatsuki went to attack Konoha, I went to join in the fun. Hyuga-chan explained the reason for going to Akatsuki. Attack on Konoha. We attacked Kumogakure not long ago, and now we attack Konoha. Akatsuki's move is big enough, Terumi Mei said. So what's the result? Akatsuki should be 157 stronger than Konoha. Makoto asked, looking up. On the contrary, Akatsuki was almost wiped out, and now Akatsuki's people are left with Ju and Uchiha Obito. Uchiha Sasuke is not a person of Akatsuki, so Hyuga-chan did not count Uchiha Sasuke. Nagata wasn't dead, but he was caught by Konoha, so he had to get rid of it. Konoha village is so strong. What about Naoki now? It doesn't matter if Akatsuki's people are dead or not, Tsunade is most concerned about her brother Naoki. Naoki has nothing to do, he should be in Konoha now. Your two grandpas were resurrected by Orochimaru using impure world reincarnation, so Akatsuki is so miserable. I see. I said that Akatsuki has so many cage-level masters, why is he not a match for Konoha? Terumi Mei nodded. Orochimaru used impure world reincarnation to resurrect my grandpa. Isn't Orochimaru dead? Tsunade said with a frown. Long time ago, the news of Orochimaru's death spread in the ninja world, and now why is it suddenly deceived again? Although Orochimaru's strength is not very good, his ability to save his life is a must. He won't die so easily, Hyuga-chan said with a smile. To be honest, Hyuga-chan admires Orochimaru's life-saving ability. But Uchiha Obito has already got half of Kyuubi, 9 tails, and it is estimated that the ninja world will soon be in turmoil. Uchiha Obito got half of Kyuubi, 9 tails, and he can resurrect 10 tails. 10 tails resurrection is the beginning of turmoil, and Uchiha Obito will definitely find a way to recover the other half of Kyuubi, 9 tails. These chakras are concubines, Otsutsuki Kagaya muttered softly. Everything is yours. How did I hear that this divine tree was planted by someone else, and you stole the fruit of the divine tree? Kushina pouted and said. Kushina likes to bicker, and she feels uncomfortable if she doesn't. Kushina caused a war, so Otsutsuki Kagaya naturally had to fight, otherwise, wouldn't that mean she was afraid of Kushina? But before Otsutsuki Kagaya could say anything, Hyuga-chan stretched out his hand to hold the two of them down, and gave Kushina a while to clear your eyes. Under the warning from Hyuga-chan's eyes, Kushina didn't dare to continue to pick things up, and sat there quietly, like a good baby. Otsutsuki Kagaya felt that he was at a disadvantage, so he glared at Kushina fiercely. Chen, look, she stares at me with her eyes, so scary. Kushina pointed at Otsutsuki Kagaya and said while holding Hyuga-chan's arm. Just give me peace of mind. Hyuga-chan knocked Kushina's head hard, Kushina and Hanabi were the two most restless in the family. Why am I restless? Kushina pouted and glared at Hyuga-chen, biting hard on his arm. A few days later, a letter came from Reikage, the fourth generation of Kumogakure village, to hold a meeting of the Five Shadows in the Iron Country. As for why the Iron Country was chosen, it was because the Iron Country was a neutral country, not a small country dependent on any country. Fourth Reikage actually held the Five Shadows meeting. It seems that his injury has healed. Hyuga-chan threw the letter aside. Then shall we go? Terumi Mei asked. Go, of course, I'll be your escort. Kushina jumped up and said, such a fun thing must join in the fun. The Five Shadow talks were regarded as fun by Kushina. But I don't want to go. If you don't go, then quickly abdicate, give me the position of Mizukage, and I will go to the Five Shadows talks. Terumi Mei's mouth twitched, and Kushina came up with such a method. And, Terumi Mei chose to participate in the Five Shadow talks. Hyuga-chan and Kushina became the guards. Hanabi wanted to join in the fun, but was stopped by Hinata. Now Hanabi is squatting in the corner, sulking. Seeing that no one came to comfort her, Hanabi was even more angry, but her sister didn't let her go, and Hanabi couldn't help it. You can't just sneak out. If he really sneaks out, his sister will be angry no matter how gentle her character is. Hanabi was a good boy and didn't want to make Hinata angry, so he just sat in the corner and sulked. Originally, Hanabi thought that Hyuga-chen would take her, but Hyuga-chen ignored her and left with Terumi Mei and Kushina. Don't be angry, Hanabi, come over for dinner. I made you your favorite yuhi grilled pork ribs and sticky rice balls. Hinata shouted. As soon as Hanabi's ears moved, for the sake of the food, I stopped being angry for a while, and when I had the strength after eating, I became angry again. I didn't expect the Iron Country to be so beautiful. Why didn't I want to play in the Iron Country before? I thought the Iron Country was all iron ore. Kushina rolled in the snow. You just feel pretty now. If you tend to watch the snow, you won't be happy. Hyuga-chen pulled up Kushina, who was rolling in the snow. Terumi Mei crouched down, made a snowball, and smashed it towards Kushina, hitting Kushina's forehead. Seeing that Kushina was hit, Terumi Mei laughed, then turned and ran. To Terumi Mei's understanding, Kushina will definitely not give up and run away first. Terumi Mei, look at how I'll take care of you. Kushina chased after her reluctantly. Kushina was not reconciled to suffer. Kushina used snowball attacks while chasing, and the snowballs thrown were very fast. Even if Genin, who specializes in physical art, was smashed, he might also be killed by smashing. Terumi Mei, not to be outdone, used a snowball to fight back while running. Hyuga-chan looked at the two girls who were chasing and fighting, and couldn't help but smile. On this white snow, the two of them are the most beautiful scenery, adding a touch of color to this endless snow field. I don't know if the two of them were having fun. They turned their heads and hit him with a snowball. The flying snowball didn't hit Hyuga-chan, and it was reflected back by the vector operation, which made them both very embarrassed. Chapter 428 Have fun. Obito strikes. No, you're cheating. Kushina patted the snow on her body and said. Then what do you want from me? Do you want me to stand still and let you smash? Hyuga-chen looked at Kushina with a funny look. Kushina's eyes lit up when he heard it, then nodded his head and said, that's right, I want you to stand still and let us smash it. Hyuga-chen turned a Byakugan tilde, do you think I'm stupid? Let's go. Hyuga-chen dragged the two of them on their way. Hyuga-chen and the others arrived. They found out that they were the last ones to arrive, but that's right, Terumi Mei and Kushina were fighting along the way, and the speed was naturally slow. But the fourth generation of Reikage and the third generation of Tsuchikajinoki are not happy. They have been waiting here for several days. Mizukage has only arrived now. Isn't that looking down on them? But after seeing Hyuga-chen, the two of them didn't say a word. The fourth generation Reikage gave Hyuga-chen an angry look and chose silence. Naoki, why are you here, Hokage? Kushina looked at Naoki in surprise. I saw Naoki wearing a Hokage imperial robe and a Hokage hat, sitting in the seat belonging to Hokage, with Kakashi and Guy behind him. He tilde. Naoki giggled twice, trying to reach out and scratch his head, but knocked off the hat. Hatake Kakashi, who was standing behind him, turned his head away. He felt embarrassed. How stupid. Konoha's face was all lost. Naoki, you can do it. This is the realization of your childhood dream. Hyuga-chen said in surprise. He really didn't expect Naoki to become Hokage. It used to be missing Nin, but now it has suddenly become Hokage. This change is a bit big, and Hyuga-chen didn't expect it. Senju Naoki seems to be from Akatsuki. Use a missing Nin as Hokage, Konoha is nobody. Onoki sneered. Mainly because Onoki felt that his presence was insufficient and wanted to find a presence. In fact, whether Senju Naoki becomes Hokage or not is Konoha's business, and has nothing to do with him. Bump. 4 generations of Reikage smashed the table with a slap, and now at the mention of Akatsuki, he couldn't help but get angry. He was beaten into the village by Akatsuki's people, and Yahweh was forcibly taken away. He was severely injured, and the 4th generation of Reikage was angry and felt ashamed. I started the 5 Shadows talk this time to ask the guilt. Those people in Akatsuki are all related to your 4 villages. 4th Reikage said angrily. What does the 4th Reikage mean? Could it be that we colluded with Akatsuki? Onoki scowled. Isn't it? Don't forget who hired Akatsuki to do things during the 3rd Ninja War. 4 generations of Reikage confronted each other. He has a fire in his heart now, and if he doesn't vent it, the 4th generation of Reikage will be uncomfortable. This meeting was not so much about Akatsuki as it was about the 4th generation Reikage venting his anger. Give me a face, everyone, and stop arguing. Mifune hurriedly stopped. But Mifune didn't have much face. Onoki stood up with a swipe and stared at the 4th generation Reikage. 4th Reikage, don't blame us for your incompetence. Onoki unceremoniously accused the 4th generation of Reikage of being incompetent. The 4th generation of Reikage naturally couldn't sit still, with thunder and lightning wrapped around him, and he had a posture of disagreement. At the same time, the guards who followed the 5 Shadows were also vigilant. Is this about to start a fight? Mifune was distressed. If any of the Shadows had an accident in the Country of Iron, the Country of Iron would be really miserable. Kushina saw that a fight was about to start, and suddenly became interested, and muttered, Fight. Fight quickly. Chaos. Kushina is the kind of person who is afraid that the world will not be in chaos, so I hope they will fight. However, the result disappointed Kushina. Although the 4th generation Reikage was furious, his reason still existed and he would not act easily. Everyone, what we're discussing now is Akatsuki. If we fight ourselves, wouldn't that make the enemy laugh? Gaara said aloud. Sunagakure village is really empty. You actually let a little devil be cage. I heard that you were captured by Akatsuki's people before, and it was Konoha who helped you to save you. Onoki exit uncovers Gaara's scar. Hyuga-chan looked at Onoki. He knew that Onoki was looking for a sense of existence, but there was no need to look for it. The people here are almost offended by Onoki. Gaara's face was ashen, but he didn't get angry. He knew that he was young and would definitely be looked down upon. Onoki, I think Iwagakure village is really empty. Otherwise, why are you still a Tsuchikage, an old man? Kushina couldn't help but said. Onoki's face darkened. He looked at Kushina and said nothing. Onoki, I didn't expect you to bully the soft and fear the hard. Hyuga-chan looked at Onoki with contempt. Onoki was very arrogant just now. He scolded this and that, and scolded the air, but when he met Kushina, he was cowardly. Onoki sat down without saying a word. He couldn't afford to offend Kushina and Hyuga-chen, and he could still rely on the old man in front of others. But in front of them, that's fine. He wants to live a few more years with this old bone. Just when the topic was about to return to the main topic, there was a sudden explosion outside, which directly attracted the attention of Onoki and the others. Then they rushed out immediately. It is estimated that Uchiha Obito is doing something, but I don't know if he has resurrected Ten Tails now. Hyuga-chen prefers that Uchiha Obito has not resurrected Ten Tails, because he does not feel Ten Tails chakra now. Maybe Uchiha Obito hasn't managed to seal Kyuubi, Nine Tails in. After all, he is the only one left, and the speed must be much slower. After Hyuga-chen and the others went out, they found that it was Uchiha Obito, and Uchiha Sasuke was by his side. Are Akatsuki's people so arrogant? 4 generations of Raikage, eyes flashed coldly, knowing that their 5 shadows were here, they dared to make trouble. Uchiha Obito is not wearing a mask, since his identity has been revealed, there is no need to wear a mask to cover up. It's just a kid, and it's a bit arrogant. Don't you know that everyone here is your senior? To be a human being, you must maintain a little sense of awe. Onoki said lightly. Hatake Kakashi looked at Uchiha Obito with indescribable complexity in his eyes. He didn't know what Obito was going through, such a big change would happen. But what cannot be changed is that now the two of them are enemies. If they really fight, Hatake Kakashi will never show any mercy, because just what Uchiha Obito has done before, can't be forgiven. His teacher Namikaze Minato died because of Obito, which is the most unacceptable thing for Hatake Kakashi. As if the heart is connected, when Kakashi looked at Obito, Obito also looked at Kakashi, with the same complexity in his eyes as Kakashi. And, Uchiha Obito's eyes were firm, and no one could stop the Moon Eye plan. He is no longer what he used to be. Chapter 429 Courting Uchiha Sasuke. Naoki, I didn't expect you to betray Akatsuki, and now you become Hokage. Uchiha Obito looked at Naoki gloomily. Akatsuki. Now that Akatsuki's leader Nagato has been arrested, is there still Akatsuki in this world? Naoki looked at Uchiha Obito calmly. Yandun Gaju Earth Life. Uchiha Sasuke suddenly takes a shot at Naoki. Anyone who becomes Hokage is his enemy. Using Mokudan wood style to block Uchiha Sasuke's sudden attack, Naoki looked at Uchiha Sasuke with cold eyes. Uchiha Sasuke, it was my grandfather who let you go before, and now you are courting death again. Humph, I don't need him to let me go. Uchiha Sasuke snorted coldly. Sasuke, wait a second. Uchiha Obito pulled Uchiha Sasuke back. I'm here to tell you specifically that I'm announcing the official start of the 4th Ninja War, and Akatsuki will go to war with the 5 major countries. Onoki sneered suddenly and looked at Uchiha Obito with disdain. Are you out of your mind? Just the two of you want to fight against the entire ninja world. To be honest, Onoki looked down on these two people at all. Even if they had 9-tailed beasts in their hands, Onoki was not afraid at all. Uchiha Obito wasn't angry, and when they saw the White Zetsu army, they just didn't know if they could still laugh. Of 100,000 White Zetsu has been created. In fact, the army of 100,000 White Zetsu was created by Otsutsuki Kagaya. Just that Obito thought he created it using Senju Hashirama's cells and Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path. Actually not, these 100,000 White Zetsu once existed. Uchiha Obito holds an army of 100,000 White Zetsu and 10 tails who are about to be resurrected. He is so confident that even Hyuga-chen is not too afraid. Uchiha Obito has decided that after the resurrection of 10 tails, the first thing to do is to destroy Hyuga-chen, a confidant. Let's go with you. Let's go. Uchiha Obito didn't say much, pulled up Uchiha Sasuke and prepared to leave. But Uchiha Sasuke didn't move, staring at Hyuga-chen and Naoki with murderous intent in his eyes. Pull out the Kusanagi sword and stab Uchiha Obito sharply. Uchiha Obito immediately used Kamui, immune to Uchiha Sasuke's attack. Kamui's blurring of pupils is indeed very pervert. Uchiha Sasuke, do you want to betray? Uchiha Obito's eyes were very dangerous, and keeping Uchiha Sasuke by his side was a ticking time bomb. Don't forget, you also participated in the Uchiha genocide at the beginning. Uchiha Itachi is dead, and you will die too. I don't have time to play with you now. Uchiha Obito made a Shinra Tensei Almighty Push sign, knocked Uchiha Sasuke out, and then absorbed himself into the alien space and left. At this time, Uchiha Obito had a Rinnegan transplanted in one of his eyes, and naturally he could use the Shinra Tensei Almighty Push sign. Bastard. Uchiha Sasuke's eyes were bloodshot, and space ninjutsu left him unable to do anything at all. Wanted to kill Uchiha Obito not once or twice, but every time I couldn't help him. Uchiha Obito is gone. Uchiha Sasuke turns his attention to Hyuga-chen. There seems to be a lot of hatred between him and you, what's going on? Kushina asked, tugging at Hyuga-chan's clothes. I cut off one of his arms. Hyuga-chan said. It turned out to be just cutting off an arm. Then why didn't you kill him? You see it's a trouble now. Kushina looked at Hyuga-chen reproachfully. The others looked at Kushina speechlessly, co-authoring in your eyes, cutting off an arm is nothing. Hyuga-chen touched his nose, then said, it's not a problem, the big deal is to slap him to death now. Uchiha Sasuke's eyes were spitting fire, and the flames of anger seemed to burn Hyuga-chen and Kushina to the ground. He seems to be angry, so scary. Terumi hid behind Hyuga-chen, scared, and reached out to hug Hyuga-chen. Chen, you are my bodyguard, you must protect me. Terumi raised her head and looked at Hyuga-chen pitifully. Kushina gave Terumi a punch with a blank face. Kushina, what are you doing? I'm a Mizukage now. You are just a Mizukage guard. How dare you commit the crime? Terumi shouted. Batilda, you really think of me as your bodyguard? Kushina slapped Terumi on the head angrily. Damn, I have to pay it back. Terumi didn't suffer such a loss. Hyuga-chen knocked her, but Kushina dared to knock her with her hands. Kushina is not stupid, she runs away when she takes advantage, and she runs very fast. Terumi chased after her angrily. The shadows of the various villages watched this scene with black lines all over their heads. Hundreds of grass and mud horses galloped past in my heart. The most angry is Sasuke Uchiha, who doesn't look at him so much. Go to hell. A purple half-body skeleton appeared in an instant, then grew muscle meridians, and finally grew legs and put on armor, which shocked the mind. This is Susanoo. Onoki opened his mouth wide and looked at the huge full-body Susanoo in disbelief. A huge fist smashed towards Hyuga-chen. The power of this punch can shatter a small mountain. Seeing that Uchiha Sasuke was targeting Hyuga-chen, Onoki's eyes instantly gloated. This guy doesn't know whether to live or die. He really thinks that if he can use Susanoo, he can fight that evil spirit. As Onoki, who once fought against Hyuga-chen, he knows Hyuga-chen's strength extremely well, and even Uchiha Madara may not be Hyuga-chen's opponent. To mention a mere Uchiha Sasuke. It's better that Hyuga-chen kills this Uchiha Sasuke, so that one less threat. Uchiha Sasuke, who can use the full-body Susanoo, is a huge threat in Onoki's eyes. You are courting death yourself. Hyuga-chen gave Uchiha Sasuke an indifferent look. Although Hyuga-chen didn't bother to kill him at all, it didn't mean that he could watch Uchiha Sasuke and fleas jump around in front of him. Hyuga-chen's figure instantly appeared on top of Uchiha Sasuke Susanoo's head, 0.2 and kicked it down. Boom! The purple Susanoo cracked all over, and then collapsed. Kicking Susanoo to pieces is terrifying, Onoki said in horror. Although he knew that Hyuga-chen was strong, he was still shocked to see this scene. The fourth generation of Raikage's expression was silent, and the revenge of his brother-in-law Killer Bee may never be avenged. Thinking of the death of his brother-in-law Killer Bee, the fourth generation of Raikage couldn't help showing a painful expression. Sasuke Uchiha vomited blood and looked at Hyuga-chen in horror, his eyes were full of disbelief. Susanoo, who he thought was invincible, was actually kicked to pieces, and looking at his understatement, it seemed that he didn't use his full strength at all. Now Uchiha Sasuke couldn't accept it. He already has the strongest eyes of the Uchiha family, shouldn't he be invincible? Chapter 430. The Death of Uchiha Sasuke. I must kill you, Susanoo. Uchiha Sasuke yelled. Hyuga-chen poked out his ears. You don't have to be so loud, it's not that I can't hear you, and yelling won't increase your strength. At this time, Uchiha Sasuke's Susanoo wrapped around Amaterasu's black flames, and the blade slashed towards Hyuga-chen, who was floating in the air. Hyuga-chen turned sideways at will, avoiding the sword, and the sword slashed on the ground, leaving a bottomless trace. Let's have fun with you. Mokuden, wood style, wood golem jutsu. Wooden figure bigger than the full-body Susanoo punched Uchiha Sasuke's Susanoo. Scarier than a missile bombardment, punching a big hole in Susanoo and knocking Sasuke Uchiha's Susanoo back a few hundred meters. Damn, why is it Mokuden, wood style? Sasuke Uchiha clenched his fists, and because of the force, his nails got stuck in the flesh, and the blood slowly flowed out. Not long ago, he was beaten by the big Jinchuriki, column son Senju Hashirama with Mokuden, wood style. If Senju Hashirama didn't keep his hands on purpose, Sasuke Uchiha would no longer be seen. Now I see the Mokuden, wood style, figurine again, and this figurine is obviously bigger than Senju Hashirama's. Without waiting for Sasuke Uchiha to think too much, the wooden man rushed up under the control of Hyuga-chen, grabbed Susanoo of Sasuke Uchiha, and began to beat him violently. It was a one-sided beating, and Sasuke Uchiha didn't even have the strength to fight back. As for Amaterasu Black Flame, I'm sorry, Hyuga-chen will also have Earth Life. The Amaterasu Black Flame on the wooden man gathers together to form a huge black flame sword, which is held in the wooden man's hand. Susanoo's armor can be broken with a random swing of the sword. In order to repair Susanoo's damage, Uchiha Sasuke's chakra was consumed frantically. Although Uchiha Sasuke's chakra is also a lot, but such a rapid consumption, Uchiha Sasuke can't hold on. How can I fall here, ah? Uchiha Sasuke yelled, but he still couldn't change his fate of being hanged and beaten. Is this the legendary output all rely on roar? Hyuga-chen looked at Uchiha Sasuke who was yelling and said that he had learned a lot. Have you solved this kid yet? Let me help you. Kushina leaned over. No, I think you should find a way to solve your own problems first. Hyuga-chen pointed at Terumi-mei who was chasing after him. Kushina, you die for me. Terumi-mei, don't come here, or be careful if I hit you, you are not my opponent. Kushina raised her fist intimidatingly. However, Kushina's deterrence is useless at all. Terumi-mei is indeed not Kushina's opponent, but Terumi-mei does not believe that Kushina dares to do it. Anyway, there is Tatsu here. Terumi-mei said that she is not afraid at all. You've been chasing me for so long, I think so. We're even. Balanced. You want to be beautiful, unless you let me hit you. Kushina wanted to get even, but Terumi-mei didn't do it at all. If it's a draw, then it's not that she suffers, and Terumi-mei is also not someone who is willing to suffer. Then you keep chasing. Anyway, I don't believe you can catch me. Kushina spread her hands and said. Kushina didn't believe Terumi-mei could catch her. Do you think I really can't cure you? I still have a trick that's useless. Terumi-mei sneered twice. Trick? What trick? You can use it if you have the ability. Kushina pouted in disdain. Really? I'll see if you can laugh after a while. Terumi-mei glanced at Kushina lightly, and then aimed at Hyuga-chen. What are you looking at me for? Hyuga-chen turned to look at Terumi-mei. It's nothing, wait until you've dealt with this Uchiha clan kid. Terumi-mei shook her head. What do you want to do? Kushina looked at Terumi-mei vigilantly, wondering what the woman was holding back. Humph. Then you'll know that I, Terumi-mei, are not easy to mess with. Terumi-mei snorted coldly. Hyuga-chen glanced at Terumi-mei inexplicably, and then manipulated the wooden man to dismantle Susanoo. Uchiha Sasuke's face was ugly. He was unable to repair Susanoo anymore, because every blow of the wooden man was absorbing his chakra, and his chakra had bottomed out. Thinking about it, Uchiha Sasuke feels that he will keep Castle Peak without worrying about no firewood, so he will slip away first, and then take revenge later. Releasing Susanoo, Uchiha Sasuke quickly fled into the distance. Want to run? I won't let you go this time. A gravitational force erupted in Hyuga-chen's hand, pulling Sasuke Uchiha back and slamming him in front of Hyuga-chen. Boy, you trouble me again and again, it seems that you don't know how to write dead characters. Hyuga-chen looked down at Uchiha Sasuke. So I'll teach you how to write dead letters today. A lightsaber condensed in Hyuga-chen's hand, and then stabbed Uchiha Sasuke's heart without hesitation. Uchiha Sasuke's hateful eyes gradually dimmed, and finally he fell to the ground with wide eyes. The flames appeared out of nowhere and kept burning Uchiha Sasuke's body, and soon Uchiha Sasuke's body was reduced to ashes. This time, the Six Paths Immortal shot, and he couldn't resurrect Uchiha Sasuke, because even Uchiha Sasuke's soul was destroyed by Hyuga-chen. The second male protagonist, the second Jinchuriki, Column Sun, just died. I wonder if Uzumaki Naruto knows that Uchiha Sasuke died in his hands, will he come to him for revenge? According to Uzumaki Naruto's temperament, this is not impossible. But even if Uzumaki Naruto comes, 710 Hyuga-chen will not show mercy. Uchiha Sasuke is dead, let's go. Terumi Mei pulled Hyuga-chen and gave Kushina a meaningful look. Hey, the Five Shadows talks aren't over yet. Naoki shouted quickly, but Terumi Mei and Hyuga-chen were already far away by this time. Kushina looked at Terumi Mei vigilantly. She always felt that Terumi Mei seemed to have some conspiracy, and her eyes looked sullen. It seems to be vigilant. Kushina said secretly. Mizukage has left, let's talk. Naoki looked at the other three shadows. What are you talking about? Akatsuki's declaration of war with us. Don't you think Akatsuki will be an opponent of our 5 nations? Onoki said dismissively. It's not that simple. Uchiha Obito will not declare war with us without preparation, he must have some cards. Gaara analyzed. Gaara is right, Uchiha Obito does have a whole card, and that's 10 tails. 10 tails. I've only heard of one EPUB, 9 tails. Where did these 10 tails come from? Onoki asked. He knew that Naoki shouldn't be aimless. Senju Naoki used to be Akatsuki's man and should know Akatsuki very well. The 4th generation of Reikage was dismissive, he wouldn't trust Naoki, and he had a deep prejudice against Konoha village. Chapter 431 Terumi Mei Who Wants to Default. I don't know exactly what 10 tails are, but Uchiha Obito said that it is something that can deter the 5 countries. Shocking the 5 major countries. It's too ridiculous. The 4th generation of Reikage has completely forgotten how he was beaten up by Akatsuki's people before, and then took Yaoi in front of their Kumogakure village. Can you please stop interjecting? Onoki gave Reikage the 4th generation a faint look. Onoki you. The 4th generation of Reikage, now we are discussing the issue of Akatsuki, and now it involves the entire ninja world, not any village can escape. Gaara said solemnly. The 9-tailed beasts are sealed in Gedo Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path, in turn, and they can revive the legendary 10 tails. Akatsuki's original purpose was to use 10 tails to scare the world of ninjas and stop wars. Naoki explained. This time, the 4th generation of Reikage and Onoki has also fully realized the seriousness of the matter. If so, then 10 tails is at least the sum of the strength of the 9-tailed beasts. It's just the purpose of Akatsuki before, as for the purpose of Akatsuki now, I don't know. Maybe Chen should know everything, but he won't necessarily say it, why don't you ask? Onoki shook his head, they wouldn't ask, they couldn't figure out Hyuga-chen's character, what if he was killed by Hyuga-chen like Uchiha Sasuke who was killed before? You have a good relationship with him, go and ask. Yi-chan's character, even if I ask him, I won't necessarily say it. Go back first and get ready. Since Uchiha Obito has declared war, there will definitely be some action. This time it's a matter of the whole ninja world. I hope everyone will not keep it Onoki looked at the fourth generation of Reikage. Onoki, what do you mean? 4 generations of Reikage, eyes flashed dangerously. The 4 discussed it again, and then went back. Despite the heated discussion before, in fact, only Naoki and Gaara paid attention. Onoki and the 4th generation of Reikage are only superficial, but in fact they don't look down on Akatsuki at all in their hearts, before and now. Chen, you help me catch Kushina. Hyuga Chen glanced at Terumi Mei, then at Kushina, and shook his head. Kushina breathed a sigh of relief and gave Terumi Mei a smug look, thinking it was Terumi Mei's trick. Didn't expect just this. Terumi Mei bit Kiba, looked at the smug Kushina, and said, you can do anything to me as long as you help me catch Kushina. After speaking, Terumi Mei gave Hyuga Chen a seductive look. Kushina's smile froze. According to what she knew about Hyuga Chen, the best thing she should do now is to run. Then it was too late to run, not to mention that even if she wanted to run, she couldn't run away. Kushina, this time I must knock it back. Terumi Mei knocked hard on Kushina's head, and Kushina wanted to cry in pain. Just to knock me out, are you worth it? Kushina asked resentfully. Of course it's worth it. Terumi Mei, suffered a loss. No matter how much I pay, I will get my revenge back. Kushina is speechless, so aren't you still at a disadvantage? I really don't understand what you're thinking. Let's go back quickly. Terumi Mei, don't forget what you just said. Hyuga Chen looked at Terumi Mei and licked the corner of his mouth. What did I say? Did I say something just now? I seem to have lost my memory. I can't remember what happened before. I'm so sorry, Terumi Mei said, patting her head. Hyuga-chan's face sank. He wanted to default on his debt. But it is not so easy to want to default, especially relying on his debt. Seeing Hyuga Chen's gloomy and terrifying face, Terumi Mei took 2 steps back in fear, but Kushina, who was standing behind her, pushed her with a gloating expression on her face. The wind is turning. Kushina's heart was about to burst out of joy. Do you want to default on your debt? Hyuga Chen walked up with a sneer and asked, pinching her chin. Now that I know you're asking. Terumi Mei rolled her eyes at Hyuga Chen. She said that when her head was hot, but now that she's avenged and calmed down, she naturally wants to go back on it. Yo, you are so righteous if you want to default on your debts. Why can't I be righteous? I'll let you be righteous. Hyuga Chen took Terumi Mei and Kushina directly back to the house in Kurigakure village, and then carried Terumi Mei into the house. Soon there was a humiliating voice from inside the house. What's going on? Makoto, Tsunade and the others asked dumbfounded. Tisk tisk, what else is going on? You can kill yourself. Kushina rubbed her head. Terumi Mei's hand was not light just now, she can still feel the pain now. But thinking about how Terumi Mei couldn't get up tomorrow, Kushina suddenly felt that the pain disappeared, and her heart was very dark. Kushina who suddenly smirked. Makoto and Tsunade looked at each other. What happened? Why did Kushina suddenly seem stupid? Kushina, seeing you giggling suddenly, is there something wrong with your head? But don't worry, let me check it for you to see if it can be cured. Go away, your good mood is all interrupted. Kushina reached out and pushed Tsunade away. She actually said that she has a sick mind. Does she seem like someone with a sick mind? Fortunately, it seems that there should be no problem with Sister Kushina's brain. Hanabi said with a sigh of relief. There's something wrong with your head. Kushina grabbed Hanabi's head and lifted her up. Let go, my head is about to fall off. Hanabi kicked his feet, leaving a few black footprints on Kushina's clothes. You got my clothes dirty, Hanabi, you wash my clothes. Sister Kushina, let me down first, I'll tell you something, this thing is very important to you. Kushina gave Hanabi a suspicious look, then put her down. She wanted to see what Hanabi had to say. Sister Kushina, I think you should throw this dress away. Throw it away. Why? It's just a little dirty. It's good to wash it. I think you don't want to wash my clothes, right? Kushina said with her hips crossed. No, when I went to the forest to catch game today, I accidentally stepped on the poop of an animal. After saying that, Hanabi hurried away, instinctively telling her that if she stayed here again, it might be bad. Kushina instantly petrified, and it took a long time to react, then ran into the kitchen and took out a kitchen knife. Where's Hanabi? Hurry up and come over here, I won't hack you to death. Hanabi has already run away. Makoto covered his mouth and chuckled. Kushina looked at the few footprints on the clothes in a sullen mood. I don't know if it was a psychological effect. Kushina felt an odor and ran back to the room to change clothes. Chapter 432 The Fourth Ninja War is about to begin. Hyuga-chen came out of the room, looked at the sneaky Hanabi, walked over and patted her. Hanabi was taken aback and squatted on the ground quickly, holding his head in his hands, and using the head-holding squatting defense skill. Hanabi, what are you doing wrong? Hyuga-chen asked. Hearing Hyuga-chen's voice, Hanabi breathed a sigh of relief, as long as it wasn't Kushina. Brother Hyuga-chen, you have to help me, Sister Kushina is going to kill me. Hanabi grabbed Hyuga-chen's arm for help. Kushina wants to kill you. Then how did you provoke Kushina? Hyuga-chen asked curiously. The relationship between Kushina and Hanabi is very good. I don't know what the hell Hanabi did to make Kushina kill her. I just accidentally stepped on the poop, and left a few footprints on Kushina's sister, and then she was going to kill me. I'm so pitiful. Hanabi wiped away tears. Kushina had been looking for her for a long time with a kitchen knife, but she was terrified. Hyuga-chen looked at Hanabi speechlessly. Did you leave a few footprints on her on purpose? With Hyuga-chen's understanding of Hanabi, it's really possible. Don't worry, Juxin 183 Nai is just trying to scare you, otherwise with her strength, she can't find you. Hyuga-chen comforted. Kushina can also use Kagura Mind Eyes, and it's not easy to find Hanabi. Really? Hanabi wiped away her tears, showing that this time Hanabi was really frightened. This time it was definitely not fake crying. Do you think it's true? Kushina put the kitchen knife on Hanabi's neck, and Hanabi didn't dare to say a word. Sister Kushina, please let me go. In fact, I have already cleaned up. You rubbed clean on me, Kushina said with a sneer. Okay Kushina, don't scare Hanabi. Hyuga-chen pulled Kushina away, and Hanabi was relieved. Little girl, you are almost 12 years old, and you are still crying. It's a shame. Kushina put away the kitchen knife and said. Hokage, 12 years old is not too young. However, Hanabi is still like a child of 7 or 8 years old. The most important thing is that Hanabi is very small and does not look more than 10 years old. I don't know why Hanabi eats so much every day. Why is he so short? Tears. Hanabi stopped crying and slapped Kushina angrily. If you hadn't scared me, would I cry? Where's Terumi-mei? Kushina asked. Aren't you asking this knowingly? Hyuga-chen gave Kushina a Byakugan. Now how is Terumi-mei? Could Kushina not be clear? Kushina snorted softly, a smile on her face. Hanabi looked at Kushina and made a face at her. Kushina silently took out the kitchen knife that was flickering with cold light. The dazzling cold light made Hanabi shrink his neck, and then quickly hugged Hyuga-chan's arm. I think Kushina should take care of you. Only then can you be honest. Hyuga-chen touched Hanabi's head and said. No, she's going to kill me. Hanabi shook her head like a splash drum. Hanabi, you guy, completely forget how good I am to you, come here. Kushina grabbed Hanabi and carried her away. Brother Chen, hurry up and save me. Hanabi shouted loudly. However, Hanabi's loud shout was regarded as inaudible by Hyuga-chen and completely ignored, making Hanabi angry. World was calm for a few days, and Obito, who had no action at first, moved. 100,000 white Zetsu formed an army, and it seemed that he really wanted to go to war with the 5 major countries. Uchiha Obito has now assembled the tailed beasts resurrected by 10 tails, and should not have gone to war with the 5 great powers. But now Uchiha Obito has also discovered that Kyuubi, 9 tails, seems to be missing half, and the negative chakra is gone. Originally during the 5 Shadows meeting, Uchiha Obito wanted Konoha to hand over the other half's Kyuubi, 9 tails, but because Hyuga-chan was there, Uchiha Obito ran away in a panic before he finished speaking. Now the war with the 5 powers is to take back the other half of Kyuubi, 9 tails. What's more, even if he doesn't get his other half of Kyuubi, 9 tails back, he is destined to go to war with the 5 great nations. 10 tails, resurrection cannot be concealed from the 5 great ninja villages, and war is unavoidable at that time. Unless they all agree with Moon Eye's plan, which is impossible. So it's time to strike first. The 5 major countries were indeed frightened by the army of 100,000 white Zetsu, and they did not expect that Uchiha Obito would be able to produce so many ninjas. The 4 generations of Reikage and Onoki, who didn't care at first, couldn't sit still, and quickly sent letters to other villages to gather troops to prepare for battle. 100,000 ninjas are really too many. There are absolutely no 100,000 ninjas in the 5 major ninja villages. Now they can only resist if they gather together. The ninjas of the 5 major ninja villages quickly assembled, and the seal of Kyuubi, 9 tails, was about to be completed, and the 10 tails were about to be resurrected. The 5 countries assembled very quickly, and Terumi also asked Ching to take Kurigakure to join the ninjas of the other 4 ninja villages. Why didn't you Mizukage come? The 4th generation Reikage's face was ashen. For such a big thing, Mizukage didn't even show his face, so he let his subordinates come over. He really didn't care at all. Reikage don't get angry, let's discuss how to deal with Uchiha Obito now. Onoki advised. Terumi may of the 5th generation Mizukage comes or not. People may really not care, but they have the qualifications to not care. Terumi May is Hyuga-chan's woman, she has the right to not care about all this, let alone who knows how strong Mizukage is. Anyway, as a woman of Hyuga-chan, Onoki believes that she will never be weak, and she will even be terrifyingly strong. The 4th generation of Reikage calmed the anger in his heart and sat beside him without saying a word. And Ching was very embarrassed at this time. Now all the people sitting here are the shadows of the major villages. He feels extremely uncomfortable sitting here now. After all, whether it is status or strength, Ching is far worse than them. People with unequal strength and status sitting together will only be embarrassed. Fortunately, Naoki and Gaara didn't say anything. Onoki was friendly to Ching in order to sell Hyuga-chan well. Reikage Eye of the 4th generation is not good looking, his face is ashen, and he snorts from time to time, which makes Ching feel particularly embarrassed. 5 countries formed a coalition, and at least 1 leader was required. Finally, after some discussions, the position of commander of the ninja coalition was given to the 4th generation Reikage. In fact, this position is not very useful. The ninjas of the 5 ninja villages have never been able to truly unite. Even if the 4th generation of Reikage becomes the commander of the coalition, the ninjas in his own village can still be ordered. For ninjas in other villages, even if you order, they will first ask the shadow of their own village, and then decide whether to implement it or not. However, the name of the commander-in-chief of the coalition forces is very powerful, and the 4th generation of Reikage is very satisfied. Chapter 433 Big Jinchuriki, Column Sun kills the audience with one move. Yakushi Kabuto, you want to cooperate with me? Uchiha Obito looked at Yakushi Kabuto lightly, the disdain in his eyes was not concealed. Yakushi Kabuto is only a subordinate of Orochimaru, and in the eyes of Uchiha Obito, he is a small person. That's right, I want to work with you. Yakushi Kabuto said with a smile, not caring the slightest bit about Uchiha's disdain. Now Orochimaru is resurrected, right in Konoha, instead of going to Orochimaru, you want to cooperate with me. Could it be that you betrayed Orochimaru? I figured it out, if I kept imitating Orochimaru, I would never find my true self, and now I need a little change. Yakushi Kabuto said lightly. Uchiha Obito gave Yakushi Kabuto a deep look. This guy is a multifaceted spy. He betrays Orochimaru now. Who knows if he will betray him in the future? Such a person can't be trusted, but it's not impossible to take advantage of it. If you want to cooperate with me, you have to show your skills. I don't want to cooperate with trash. Uchiha Obito said with narrowed eyes. You should know about impure world reincarnation, right? Uchiha Obito's expression darkened. Akatsuki was defeated by Hokage from impure world reincarnation. How could he not know? What do you mean? Uchiha Obito's eyes flashed with murderous intent. Is this guy here to expose his shortcomings on purpose? Don't get me wrong. I meant to say, I also know the technique of impure world reincarnation. Yakushi Kabuto said quickly. Uchiha Obito's face looked much better, and the killing intent in his eyes temporarily subsided. And I have an ace that interests you very much. Yakushi Kabuto smiled weirdly, and then a coffin was raised. Uchiha Obito looked at the people in the coffin, his body froze suddenly, and a strong killing intent came out. Where did you get it? Uchiha Obito said with a gloomy expression. Uchiha Madara, this is the last person Uchiha Obito wants to see. Although it is just a corpse now, Uchiha Obito is still afraid. Although Uchiha Madara is dead, who knows what means he has left behind. You don't need to know how I got it, just ask if you want to cooperate. Yakushi Kabuto looked at Uchiha Obito with a light smile, as if he had settled for him. Uchiha Obito clenched his fists and wanted to kill Yakushi Kabuto directly, but he gave up looking at the body of Uchiha Madara in his hands. Yakushi Kabuto is not a fool, he must have prepared a whole card, otherwise he would not have the courage to cooperate with him. Now is the last pinch, Uchiha Obito doesn't want more trouble. I hope you don't do any little tricks, it's easy for me to kill you. Uchiha Obito said indifferently, and after that, Uchiha Obito left. Yakushi Kabuto's eyes flickered, and he didn't know what he was thinking. 100,000 White Zetsu launched a surprise attack on the Allied forces. Because this raid was too sudden, the Allied ninja world suffered heavy losses. The ninja alliance that reacted began to fight back, but White Zetsu had the strongest transformation technique in the ninja world, barter transformation, which caused great losses to the Ninja Alliance army by the technique of barter transformation. Damn, you can actually transform into our ninja and infiltrate our army. The fourth generation Raikage smashed a table with one punch. Unexpectedly, they encountered a difficult problem just after the war began. If they could not solve this transformation technique, they would not be able to win at all. Because you don't know when, the teammate you obviously trust the most will become your enemy and stab you in the back. The ninja coalition is caught in a difficult problem, which is really difficult to solve. The fourth generation Raikage and Onoki have no way to break their heads. Make matters worse, Yakushi Kabuto also exerted his strength at this time. Impure World Reincarnation appeared in the previous generation, and was a famous powerhouse during his lifetime. This time, even the shadow sitting in the headquarters can't sit still. Although those strong people are controlled and can't exert their full power before birth, they can't be underestimated. What's more, they were resurrected by Impure World Reincarnation. They possessed the ability of immortality and were not afraid of death at all. In just half a day, the allied forces of the ninja world had over 1,000 casualties. I heard that only Orochimaru will use Impure World Reincarnation. Is Orochimaru joining Akatsuki again? Raikage the fourth generation turned his head and asked Naoki. I didn't join Akatsuki. Orochimaru walked in and said lightly. Behind Orochimaru, there are Hokages of all dynasties, including the fifth generation of Jiraiya, which has also been reincarnation by Orochimaru Impure World. This is the original Hokage. Onoki stood up in shock. First Hokage Senju Hashirama is simply too loud, and Onoki is also a person of that era, and naturally knows Senju Hashirama. Are you Onoki? I know you, I can only say sorry for what Madara did back then. Senju Hashirama said apologetically. When Onoki's master and apprentice came to form an alliance, he also knew about being hanged and beaten by Uchiha Madara, but he only learned about it later, and it was too late at that time. I don't blame the original Hokage, Onoki said, flattered. To be honest, the first Hokage personally apologized to him, and it really surprised Onoki. This is the god of the ninja world, and the god of the ninja world apologized to him. What an honor. Just like Kakuzu, he doesn't like to boast that he played against the original Hokage. Stop talking, let's settle the current affairs first, interrupted the fourth generation Raikage. Now every second is being sacrificed by ninjas, and they simply can't afford it. Those of Impure World Reincarnation, leave it to us. Senju Hashirama took it straight. You guys go and deal with those white Zetsu. Bring Naruto, he can sense the malice of those pretenders and can tell them apart, Senju Tobirama said. Up and coming to the battlefield, seeing the many Impure World Reincarnation powerhouses, Senju Hashirama's expression sank, and then he instantly entered Sage mode. Senpo, Sage Art Gate of the Great God. Countless Yuhiro Torii were suppressed, and those predecessors of Impure World Reincarnation were all suppressed just after showing their strength. Including the once dead Akatsuki powerhouses, such as Sasori, Deidara, and Uchiha Itachi, all of them were killed by Senju Hashirama in one move. Everyone in the allied ninja world was stunned, even Sarutobi Hiruzen and Namikaze Minato were stunned. Although there is a reason why they can't use their full power, the strength of the original Hokage is too exaggerated. This is the strength of the big brother. As long as he is serious, no one is his opponent. Senju Tobirama said lightly. Uchiha Obito, who was hiding in the dark, was also taken aback. How could he be so strong? It seems that before the 10 tails are resurrected, don't go out and wave. Originally, Uchiha Obito's desire to go out and pretend to be cowardly faded, but now going out and pretending to be coercive is purely courting death. Uchiha Obito is not a fool. When 10 tails is resurrected and he becomes a 10 tails Jinchuriki, column force, he will be able to sweep everything. There is no need to fight with Senju Hashirama, pervert. Senju Hashirama suppressed the strong ones who were released by Impure World Reincarnation, and then the people from the sealing class rushed forward to seal them. Chapter 434, Impure World Reincarnation Uchiha Madara. The strength of the first Hokage is so strong that we don't need to take action at all. I am afraid that only Chen can compare with the first generation. Namikaze Minato said with a wry smile. Oh, Hyuga-chan's strength is very strong. Senju Hashirama asked suspiciously. No one has seen his real strength, and we don't know how strong he is. Sarutobi Hiruzen shook his head with a wry smile. Is this the power of the original Hokage? It seems that he is the only one who wants to fight against the original Hokage. Spirituality Impure World Reincarnation. A coffin rose from the ground, and Yakushi Kabuto couldn't breathe because of the strong momentum. Uchiha Madara in Yuhi-colored armor came out of the coffin, full of domineering. That kid Obito brought me back to life, Uchiha Madara said indifferently, then he felt something was wrong and raised his arm to look. It's Impure World Reincarnation. What is that kid Uchiha Obito doing? How do you feel when you feel stronger than you were before? Yakushi Kabuto asked aloud. Strength than before. You mean now? Uchiha Madara asked disdainfully. Do you know the strength of my life? Yakushi Kabuto, I finally found you. Orochimaru stepped in. It turned out to be Orochimaru. Sama, I didn't expect you to come. Yakushi Kabuto was not surprised that Orochimaru could find him at all, and he was now full of Orochimaru's breath. Orochimaru watched Uchiha Madara's pupils shrink and took a few steps back silently. He knew that Yakushi Kabuto's Impure World Reincarnation couldn't restrain Uchiha Madara at all. Uchiha Madara instantly released the control of Impure World Reincarnation. Before Yakushi Kabuto did not release Impure World Reincarnation, Uchiha Madara actually lifted the restrictions of Impure World Reincarnation, and then walked out without even looking at Yakushi Kabuto and Orochimaru. Because Uchiha Madara feels the chakra of his old friend, he can't wait to meet his old friend Senju Hashirama for a while. After Uchiha Madara left, Yakushi Kabuto and Orochimaru were silent. Hyuga-chen also came to the battlefield with Otsutsuki Kagaya and Kushina. When Hyuga-chen just arrived on the battlefield, a roar came and Ten Tails was completely resurrected. It's the right time, Ten Tails just revived. Hyuga-chen smiled faintly when he saw Ten Tails, who were channeled by Uchiha Obito and roared in the sky. Seeing Ten Tails again, this is the second time Hyuga-chen has seen Ten Tails. Ten Tails are really ugly, Kushina said, looking at Otsutsuki Kagaya. Otsutsuki Kagaya is not happy. Why do you say Ten Tails are ugly looking at me? Are you trying to call me ugly? Kushina, do you want a fight? I didn't say anything else, it's just that some people like to sit in the right seat, but it's also good and self-aware. Seeing that the two were about to fight, Hyuga-chen quickly reached out to stop them. Uchiha Madara, long time no see. Hyuga-chen saw Uchiha Madara in the distance and greeted him. Uchiha Madara's eyes narrowed and he looked at Hyuga-chen deeply. Although he really wanted to fight Hyuga-chen, his reason told him that it was not the time. Although he didn't want to admit it, Uchiha Madara knew that he was definitely not Hyuga-chen's opponent in the state of impure world reincarnation, and he still knew that. Uchiha Madara and Hyuga-chen know each other. Senju Hashirama looked inexplicable. Aren't they from the same era? Hashirama, long time no see. I didn't expect you to be reincarnation by impure world too. Uchiha Madara looked at Senju Hashirama with a very complicated expression. Madara, I didn't expect that we would meet again. Since we are all dead, don't participate blindly. Let's sit down and have a cup of tea and chat. Senju Hashirama said with a hearty smile. Hyuga-chen glanced at the battlefield. The battle was not as intense as expected, mainly because Senju Hashirama appeared too early. Impure world reincarnation were not able to show off Kamui, but they were instantly killed by Senju Hashirama, and they were all sealed. Remove the impure world reincarnation army. The White Zetsu army is really not the opponent of the ninja coalition, mainly because the fighting power of White Zetsu is not strong. That is to say, they can bully and bully genin, and they may not be able to fight against chunin, but they have a combination of skills, and after combining them, it is not impossible to fight. But even so, White Zetsu was bullied badly. This is the army you once made. What's the use? Kushina poked Otsutsuki Kagaya's arm. The corners of Otsutsuki Kagaya's mouth twitched. Now that she sees White Zetsu's fighting power, she also feels useless, but she didn't know it at the time. Shut up for me, if you don't speak, no one will treat you as dumb. Hyuga-chen reprimanded. Kushina's eyes instantly became watery, and she looked at Hyuga-chen pitifully. You bullied me. It's a shame that you don't act. The tears come as soon as you say it. It's really amazing. Hyuga-chen praised with a thumbs up. Of course, who I am Kushina, no matter what it is, I can't trouble me. Whether you want me to sob or make me cry, I can easily do it. Kushina said proudly. I want you to stop crying, okay? Or I'll make you cry. Kushina immediately took back the tears, revealing the appearance of a good baby. It's so sweet, I'll reward you. Hyuga-chen kissed Kushina on the cheek. Kushina smiled sweetly, and then kissed Hyuga-chen's face. The single dogs around saw this scene, expressionless, and silently ate the dog food. As for who the singles are, aren't Uchiha Madara, Senju Tobirama and Jiraiya all singles? Madara, you seem to have never had a wife. Could it be that you are not interested in women? Senju Hashirama asked in a low voice. This is all about exposing Uchiha Madara's shortcomings. Uchiha Madara instantly became angry. She just ate a handful of dog food, and now she is angry and has nowhere to sprinkle it. You dare to run over to find excitement. Uchiha Madara kicked Senju Hashirama out with one kick, her face extremely cold. Uchiha Madara, you are courting death. As a brother-in-law, Senju Tobirama saw his eldest brother being beaten, and immediately became angry. Just you. Uchiha Madara pouted in disdain, grabbed Senju 3.0 Tobarama and threw him out. To be honest, Uchiha Madara, the Senju Tobarama guy, didn't take it seriously. If it wasn't for Senju Hashirama, Uchiha Madara would have killed Senju Tobarama long ago. Just because Senju Tobarama killed his younger brother Uchiha Izuna, Uchiha Madara should have killed him, but Senju Hashirama stopped him. Now he dares to come out to find a sense of existence. He is simply looking for death, and it is not right. Now Senju Tobarama is already dead. Namikaze Minato, Sarutobi Hiruzen, and Jiraiya are embarrassed to stand here. Did they want to do it? But you can't beat Uchiha Madara with your hands. Where is Uchiha Obito? Where's that kid Nagato? Uchiha Madara asked with a frown. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at each other, then shook their heads. How did they know where Uchiha Obito is? Chapter 435, The Narration of Hyuga-chen. I said you were blind, isn't that Uchiha Obito? Kushina pointed to Uchiha Obito above 10 tails, head in the distance, and said to Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Madara's face sank, and she gave Kushina a deep look. Look at what, believe it or not, the old lady kicked you to death. Kushina said fiercely. Humph. Uchiha Madara hummed angrily, then ran towards the distance. Madara, where are you going? Senju Hashirama shouted, because he was out of the impure world reincarnation early, and now Senju Hashirama doesn't know that Uchiha Madara is the initiator of the Moon Eye Project. Stop shouting, he is the initiator of the Moon Eye Project, and you will be enemies in a while. Hyuga-chen said lightly. What Moon Eye Project? You mean Uchiha Madara came up with all this? Senju Hashirama frowned. Uchiha Madara wants to collect the tail beast, then resurrect the 10 tails through the tail beast and Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path, then become the 10 tails Manjin Churiki, column force to get 9 Tomo Rinnegan, and then activate infinite Tsukuyomi. After Hyuga-chen finished speaking, Senju Hashirama and the others became more confused. You must be asking what infinite Tsukuyomi is, right? Senju Hashirama they nodded. Infinite Tsukuyomi is a large demonic illusion that can trap people all over the world in a demonic illusion. Those who have been hit by infinite Tsukuyomi will enter a dream state, in which everything can be realized, and Uchiha Madara wants to achieve world peace through this method. Hyuga-chen acted as a docent. Although everyone heard it inexplicably, they also understood that the mastermind behind everything was Uchiha Madara, and Uchiha Madara wanted to let people from all over the world enter demonic illusion. No, he has to be stopped, Senju Hashirama said. How did you know? Senju Tobarama asked suspiciously. You don't believe me? Hyuga-chen looked at Senju Tobarama angrily. Since you are Tsunade's second grandfather, I won't bother with you. Uchiha Madara came to me when he was alive, and wanted to choose me as a pawn to execute the plan, but he couldn't beat me. After being beaten by me, the two of us became collaborators. Hyuga-chen said lightly. What, this plan also has your share? Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly became wary of Hyuga-chen. What's the fuss about? In fact, Uchiha Madara's plan is pretty good. Everyone can get what they want in their dreams. Hyuga-chen thinks that if infinite Tsukuyomi is really what Uchiha Madara envisioned, it's actually pretty good. Just that infinite Tsukuyomi is a conspiracy from beginning to end, and White Zetsu is the product of infinite Tsukuyomi. Those who have fallen for infinite Tsukuyomi will eventually become White Zetsu after a long time. If you've been living in a dream and everything is false, what's the point of everything? Jiraiya said. This is a choice between ideals and reality. Some people will choose reality, and some people will choose ideals. There is essentially no right or wrong. Hyuga-chen chuckled. So what's your choice? Senju Tobarama looked at Hyuga-chen seriously, holding kunai tightly in his right hand. Only those who have been losing, those whose ideals in their hearts cannot be realized, will think of living in a dream. A winner in life like me naturally chooses reality. Laughter. As a proper winner in life, he wouldn't want to live in a dream. Jiraiya gave Hyuga-chen a thumbs up, with envy in her eyes, a damn winner in life. Compared with Hyuga-chen, his Jiraiya is simply sad. Roar. Ten Tails in the distance roared, the huge chakra surged, and lightning flashed in the sky. The appearance could change the weather, and it was full of force. This kind of huge chakra has never been seen before. Senju Hashirama looked at Ten Tails worriedly. This huge monster. Senju Hashirama was not sure about the uniform. The current Ten Tails are only 6 Tomo Rinnegan's, they haven't reached their full form yet. Hyuga Chen said flatly. Senju Hashirama's expression became even more solemn when he heard the words. He was so strong before reaching his full form. What would happen if he reached his full form? Senju Hashirama can't imagine. I'm going to stop Madara's plan. Senju Hashirama rushed up. Let's go to Senju Tobarama, Namikaze Minato, Sarutobi Hiruzen and Jiraiya also rushed up. Can they beat the Ten Tails? Kushina asked. If it's just incomplete Ten Tails, the original Hokage Senju Hashirama can fight alone, but there's also a Uchiha Madara there. Boom. Under the control of Uchiha Obito, Ten Tails sent a tailed beast bomb, and the ninja coalition was killed and injured instantly. Ten Tails, tailed beast bomb has a really big kill range. Kushina felt that in terms of range, it was bigger than the meteor volcano she used. This tailed beast bomb killed and injured tens of thousands of the ninja coalition forces. Looking at the huge Ten Tails in the distance, they couldn't even raise their fighting spirit. In the face of other tailed beasts, although they are afraid, they still have the courage to rush forward, but in the face of the oversized Ten Tails, they really do not have the courage. Senpo, Sage Art Mokuden, Wood Style, Shinsusenju Top Kazuo. A Mokuden, Wood Style Buddha, which is not much different in size from Ten Tails, punched Ten Tails with his fists like raindrops. It's this ninjutsu again. Uchiha Madara frowned. Senju Hashirama used this ninjutsu to defeat him. If Uchiha Madara hadn't used Izanagi, he would definitely have been killed by Senju Hashirama. The face of Senju Hashirama's attack, Uchiha Madara stood on top of Ten Tails' head and did not evade, but Uchiha Obito, who was next to him, immediately fled. The 240 fists of the Mokuden Wood Style Buddha were like raindrops, and Uchiha Madara was instantly smashed to pieces, and the palm print of the fist was printed on Ten Tails' head. Ten Tails was stunned by this combo punch. He let out a miserable cry, and his body sank deep into the ground. Is this the real power of the first Hokage? It really is the god of the ninja world. I don't know how it compares with Hyuga Chen. Onoki looked at this scene in horror. Is this really a power that a man can use? It turns out that there is such a powerful Mokuden Wood Style ninjutsu. Susanoo of the Uchiha family is here. It's nothing at all, right? Gaara and the 4th generation of Raikage also sighed. Nawaki looked proud. This was his grandfather. Uchiha Madara resurrected again, glanced at Senju Hashirama who was still beating up Ten Tails, and left quietly. He now wants to get the other half of Kyuubi, 9 Tails back, let Ten Tails get back all the chakra, and then find a way to resurrect. Uchiha Madara gave Uchiha Obito a gloomy look, and just now he discovered that the means he left on Uchiha Obito were gone. It seems that Uchiha Obito has given birth to a different heart, but Uchiha Madara is not worried. Uchiha Obito will definitely not escape his palm. If he can't settle even one Uchiha Obito, then he has lived in vain for so many years. At this time, Uchiha Madara completely forgot that if he hadn't been resurrected by Yakushi Kabuto Impure World Reincarnation, he wouldn't even have the chance to appear. Ten Tails People Jinchuriki Column Force 6 Paths Obito. Ten Tails are too pitiful. It's too weak to be beaten while hanging. Kushina looked at the Ten Tails being beaten, and felt that Ten Tails was pitiful. How to say Ten Tails, combat power. Very embarrassing. There is a powerful chakra, but there is no strength to play. Otsutsuki Kagaya's face was ugly, and Ten Tails was beaten, and she also felt that her face was dull. Being beaten up is only temporary. When Ten Tails recovers, they will be able to fight back. Hyuga-chan said. Don't look at how miserable Ten Tails sounds now, but in fact, he wasn't seriously injured, and even the injuries that Ten Tails received were not as fast as Ten Tails' self-recovery. Sure enough, after 10 tails reacted, the tail fluttered behind him, and the Mokuden wood-style Buddha was smashed out of cracks, and the cracks were getting bigger and bigger. Senju Hashirama relied on infinite chakra to repair the Mokuden wood-style Buddha frantically, but the repair was not as fast as 10 tails. Soon the Mokuden wood-style Buddha was shattered, and Senju Hashirama immediately stepped back and looked at 10 tails solemnly. On the other side, Uzumaki Naruto has been caught by Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Madara shot and caught Uzumaki Naruto very easily. No, Naruto was caught. Namikaze Minato only saw Uzumaki Naruto being caught at this time. Out a handful of kunai and fly out, then Namikaze Minato's figure disappears, appears in midair, grabs the flying kunai, and throws it out. Because of the distance, Namikaze Minato can only approach so quickly, and now Namikaze Minato regrets it. Why not give Naruto a Hiraishin kunai, or leave a Hiraishin mark on him? Just as Namikaze Minato was about to approach Uzumaki Naruto, a powerful force smashed him to smithereens. In a place that Namikaze Minato can't see, there is a shadow exactly like Uchiha Madara. Although impure world reincarnation can be resurrected, it also takes time to resurrect. Taking advantage of this time, Uchiha Madara has already extracted Kyuubi, 9 tails, from Uzumaki Naruto's body. Then the other half of Kyuubi, 9 tails, was sealed in the body by 10 tails. 10 tails completely changed into a complete body form, and his eyes became 9 Tomo Samsara Sharingan, only to finally become a divine tree. At this time, Uchiha Obito suddenly came to 10 tails. 6 paths 10 tails sigil. Uchiha Obito absorbed and sealed the 10 tails in his body, becoming the 10 tails Jinchuriki column force. Uchiha Madara glanced at Uchiha Obito lightly, and didn't say anything, even if Uchiha Obito became a 10 tails Jinchuriki column force. And 10 tails man Jinchuriki column force will only be him. Uchiha Obito is just a transitional product. Absorbing the 10 tails, Uchiha Obito begins to immortalize, wearing a 6 paths robe, with 8-tailed beast bombs floating behind his back, and holding a 6 paths tin stick in his right hand. The huge coercion made Senju Hashirama unable to take a few steps back, and Senju Tobirama and the others were even more coerced. What a strong chakra! Senju Hashirama's face was ugly, he could feel the powerful unimaginable chakra, as if endless. This is power, great power. Uchiha Obito instantly aimed at Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Madara, you are one of the biggest threats to me. Uchiha Obito's eyes radiated murderous intent. When Hyuga-chen saw the situation, he immediately laughed, not knowing how Uchiha Madara would deal with it now. Uchiha Madara at this time was not a 6 paths level Obito's opponent at all. Funny if Uchiha Madara was counter-killed by the Obito pawn. Uchiha Madara's face was gloomy and watery. He didn't expect that Uchiha Obito had just become a 10 tails Jinchuriki column force, and instead of going to smooth out those threats, he targeted him instead. Uchiha Obito, you have to think about it. I've already figured it out, you've always just treated me as a pawn, right? Uchiha Madara's face darkened, and then she came to Hyuga-chen's side in an instant. Master Madara, why are you here with me? If you don't hurry up and settle your chess pieces, wouldn't it be a problem? Hyuga-chen joked with a smile. Hyuga-chen, now is not the time to say that, help me solve Uchiha Obito first. Why should I help you? Hyuga-chen asked lightly. Because I can help you deal with the 6 paths immortals, is that a reason? Uchiha Madara stared at Hyuga-chen tightly. Uchiha Madara, you take yourself too seriously. I don't need you to help me deal with the 6 paths immortals. I'm not targeting you, I mean you are all garbage. Hyuga-chen made a group mockery, and there are only one person who will be there again. There is no one who is not angry, even the good old Senju Hashirama is angry in his heart. Hyuga-chen, I'm not what I used to be, go to hell. The 6 paths tin stick in Uchiha Obito's hand smashed towards Hyuga-chen, giving up Uchiha Madara and attacking Hyuga-chen instead. Do you want me to clean him up? Kushina rolled up her sleeves. It's me. It's been a long time since I moved my muscles and bones. Hyuga-chen reached out and grabbed the Six Paths tin cane lightly. Actually, in my eyes, you are still the same Obito you used to be. You are all the same weak. Hyuga-chen threw Uchiha Obito away. You dare to show this kind of power in front of me. Hyuga-chen chased after him instantly, then grabbed Uchiha Obito's hair and slammed it on the ground. A deep hole appeared in the ground. Silence, all silent. Uchiha Obito just now, and the speed that they couldn't see clearly, all showed his strength. Then, before being handsome for 3 seconds, Hyuga-chen was pressed and rubbed on the ground. Is it because Uchiha Obito is too weak or Hyuga-chen is too strong? Is this Hyuga-chen's strength? It's really scary. If it really fights, I won't even be able to see him. Senju Hashirama said solemnly. How can you be so strong? Uchiha Obito said with difficulty. In fact, it shouldn't be called Uchiha Obito now, it should be called Six Paths Obito. Why can't I be so strong? Hyuga-chen asked rhetorically. Gudodama truth-seeking ball controlled by Six Paths Obito attacked, but was opened by Hyuga-chen. Grabbing Obito, Hyuga-chen threw him out and smashed the mountain in the distance with a bang, and the peak was smashed. Six Paths Obito, who was beaten into a dog, the ninjas in the major ninja villages suddenly felt pity for him. This is the real torture, and there is no resistance in the whole process. Sure enough, is Hyuga-chen the real enemy? Uchiha Madara said secretly in his heart. The expression on his face was a little ugly. Ordinarily Obito was hanged and beaten. Uchiha Madara should be happy, but now he is not happy at all. Because Hyuga-chen is also his enemy, now Hyuga-chen lightly beats Ten Tails Jinchuriki, column Obito, and the strength shown is really too strong. Uchiha Madara felt like he became a Ten Tails Jinchuriki, column force, not necessarily Hyuga-chen's opponent. At this time, Uchiha Madara thought of the Six Paths Fairy, and felt that it would be best to solve Hyuga-chen first with the Six Paths Fairy. At this time, Uchiha Madara began to play a small abacus, but the small abacus in his heart, Hyuga-chen, knew that he would not take it to heart. Even if he joins forces with the Six Paths Immortal, Hyuga-chen doesn't care at all. Chapter 437 Pervert's Mirror. To mention whether Obito in the form of Ten Tails Jinchuriki, column force is strong or not, but his anti-play ability is definitely good, and he recovers quickly. Six Paths Obito flew back with an ugly face. He thought he would be invincible after becoming a Ten Tails Jinchuriki, column force, but he didn't expect to be hung up and beaten. Not bad, it's quite resistant. Hyuga-chen smiled, and then took out Zanpakuto from the king's treasure. Streamer slash. Across the sky, and Six Paths Obito, who had just flown back, split into 2 halves. Six Paths Obito's eyes widened, not realizing what was going on at all, and then he was cut in half. Cut off Six Paths Obito's body, it continued to fly to the sky, and the clouds in the sky were separated, leaving a trace in the sky. The people on the battlefield swallowed their saliva. Can swordsmanship be so powerful? Those warriors from the Iron Country all looked at Hyuga-chen with a frenzy on their faces. The samurai who used swordsmanship for a long time were looked down upon, and even they themselves thought they were inferior to Jonin, and now seeing Hyuga-chen's sword, hope rose in their hearts. I don't want to be so strong, but I also see the road ahead clearly and broaden my horizons. The body of Six Paths Obito was cut open with one knife. Six Paths Obito would not easily die. He is now a Six Paths level 003 character. The resilience is terrifying, and it can be recovered very quickly. Ahem, damn bastard. Six Paths Obito looked at Hyuga-chen angrily. Is that guy Obito not an opponent at all? Black Zetsu said silently, then looked at Uchiha Madara. However, when he saw Otsutsuki Kagaya not far from Uchiha Madara, Black Zetsu suddenly looked horrified. How could that be? Isn't that his mother Otsutsuki Kagaya? Isn't she still under seal? Why is she here now? Black Zetsu expression was messy in an instant, and his scalp felt numb. Aware of Black Zetsu's gaze, Otsutsuki Kagaya glanced at him, his eyes filled with indifference. Black Zetsu felt like his soul was frozen. Does Otsutsuki Kagaya know now that I have other thoughts? Black Zetsu was sure that it was definitely his mother Otsutsuki Kagaya, and definitely not two people who looked alike, because that indifferent look couldn't deceive anyone. Black Zetsu backed away silently, then hid, for fear of being killed by Otsutsuki Kagaya. He did not dare to go forward at all. Because in the eyes just now, Black Zetsu felt the killing intent of Otsutsuki Kagaya. Presumably Otsutsuki Kagaya should know that he has other careful thoughts. It is better not to show his face at this time. That black guy is looking at you. Kushina patted Otsutsuki Kagaya on the shoulder. Humph. It's just an abandoned chess piece. Otsutsuki Kagaya pouted, disdained to kill Black Zetsu at all. Senpo, Sage Art Spiral Flash Shuriken. The incomparably sharp spiral flashing shuriken cut Six Paths Obito open again, and his body, which was dozens of times more than steel, could not be resisted at all. Six Paths Obito's body healed quickly, looking at the Six Paths tin cane with his hand broken in two. His face was very ugly. Obito, you are no match for me at all. So what? I'm Ten Tails Jinchuriki, Column Force now, can you kill me? Six Paths Obito said stubbornly. Kill you. Killing you is as easy as the palm of your hand, it just depends on whether I want it or not. Hyuga Chen said lightly. If you really think that being a Ten Tails Jinchuriki, Column Force can't kill him, then you are wrong. Hyuga Chen had dozens of ways to kill him. Six Paths Obito is not Otsutsuki Kagaya. He just recovers quickly. He is not immortal. If he gets hit, he will still die. Hyuga-chan just wanted to play with him casually, so he deliberately avoided the key point of Six Paths Obito. Otherwise he would cut Obito's head in half with one knife, and Six Paths Obito would definitely die. Tailed Beast Bomb. The unwilling Six Paths Obito unleashes Tailed Beast Bomb, the ultimate move of the Jinchuriki Column Force. Hyuga Chen looked at the Tailed Beast Bomb and cut the Tailed Beast Bomb in half with a knife. With a loud bang, several mountains in the distance were destroyed by the Tailed Beast Bomb cut in half. Amanuma Spear. A pitch-black sword, or a spear, appeared in Six Paths Obito's hand. The Tianju Spear is a sword of the heart. It is rumored that it is the divine sword used by the Six Paths Immortals to create the world, but it goes without saying that it is fake. The old man of Six Paths doesn't have the strength to create the world. This is just boasting, but this does not mean that this sword is weak. This is created by using powerful thoughts and yin and yang escapes. As long as the thoughts are firm, the power of this sword can also be enhanced. But if the mind is shaken, the sword will also become fragile. Break it. Kyoka Shueyu. The blade flashed blue light. Six Paths Obito looked at Hyuga Chen with great vigilance, but found that there was no movement, and relaxed slightly. But what Six Paths Obito doesn't know is that he has become a prisoner of Hyuga Chen since the time he saw the Shikai ceremony of Hyuga Chen. Obito relaxed, and just as he was about to attack, he suddenly saw a giant dragon swooping towards him. Obito was startled, and hurriedly swung his Tianju spear to resist the sudden appearance of the giant dragon, and fought with the sudden appearance of the giant dragon. What the hell is Uchiha Obito doing? Jiraiya said, watching Obito who was waving the Amuma spear indiscriminately and hitting the air. Is it crazy because I can't beat Hyuga Chen? Senju Hashirama joked. Brother, you are still joking at this time. Senju Tobarama was speechless. Uchiha Madara glanced at Hyuga Chen solemnly. This is definitely related to Hyuga Chen, but she just doesn't know what move she used. It looks like demonic illusion. But why demonic illusion is so strong? It can actually affect the current Obito. Uchiha Madara subconsciously became vigilant. Don't be vigilant, Madara. Anyone who sees me liberating Jingwashueyu will become my captive. I can manipulate each other's five senses at will. For example, right now, it's obviously just dust in the air, but in the eyes of Uchiha Obito, it's a terrifying beast. Hyuga Chen explained lightly. He doesn't mind that others know about Jinghua Shuiyu's ability, because if he knows it, he can't prevent it. Jinghua Shuiyu's ability is a bug. With this ability, you can dominate the entire world. Uchiha Madara's face was very ugly. He also saw the liberation of Jinghua Shuiyu, so he also became the other party's prisoner. Even the five senses are manipulated, so how do you fight? You don't even need to fight, just playing can kill you. So pervert, how can the ninja world have such a powerful ninja sword? Senju Hashirama said in disbelief. A sword of this kind should not exist in this world. In fact, Jinghua Shuiyu is not so pervert. Even if the five senses are manipulated, there are still the sixth sense, the seventh sense, and the eighth sense. But this is the world of Hokage, not the world of Saint Seiya. At most, there is a sixth sense, and it is still inactive. Seeing that Hyuga-chen possesses such a tricky ability, Uchiha Madara was troubled. Chapter 438 Six Paths Madara. I feel like the war to destroy the world is about to turn into a farce now. Sarutobi Hiruzen said with a wry smile. I feel the most dangerous is Hyuga-chen. With that knife, he is the most dangerous person himself. Senju Tobarama said with narrowed eyes. Being able to manipulate other people's five senses at will, doesn't this mean that you control the entire world? This knife is too pervert. Senju Tobarama has the idea of destroying it. In fact, it's not just Senju Tobarama who thinks this way. There are many people who want to destroy this terrible knife. Break it. Kyoka Suzuki. Hyuga-chen dismissed Kyo, Hana Suzuki. Obito, who was fighting against the dust particles falling in the air, stopped abruptly. What's going on? Obito asked in confusion. Just when Obito was confused, Black Zetsu, who was hiding in the dark, suddenly moved, turning into a black light and approaching Obito. Spiritual fusion. Seizing the moment when Uchiha Obito was confused, Black Zetsu completely controlled Obito. But Obito only had time to show a horrified expression, and then he was controlled by Black Zetsu. Although Black Zetsu is not strong in combat, he has a lot of methods. Controlling Obito, Black Zetsu breathed a sigh of relief, and now if Otsutsuki Kagaya wanted to kill him, he at least had the strength to resist, and he was no longer in a state of being slaughtered. Beautiful Black Zetsu. Uchiha Madara smiled. Art of Rinne Tensai, Samsara of Heavenly Life. Black Zetsu manipulated Obito to resurrect Uchiha Madara, and now he still needs the powerful power of Uchiha Madara to fight against Hyuga-chen. Obito is completely useless as a chess piece. Uchiha Madara was finally resurrected completely. The original eyes disappeared and turned into empty black. At this time, White Zetsu came and gave Uchiha Madara one of the Rinnegans. Oops, Uchiha Madara is resurrected. Senju Hashirama secretly said something bad. After the resurrection, Uchiha Madara's strength is not comparable to the impure world reincarnation state, which means that the impure world reincarnation state can exert up to 80% of its strength. No one knows how strong Uchiha Madara is than Senju Hashirama, not to mention that Uchiha Madara now has Rinnegan and is stronger than ever. Black Zetsu controls this Obito and stands with Uchiha Madara. Nice job Black Zetsu. Uchiha Madara appreciated. Uchiha Madara walked over to Obito and pulled the 10 tails out of him. Hyuga-chen, why don't you stop him now? Senju Tobarama shouted loudly. I'm a little tired from playing just now. I want to take a break. You can stop it yourself. Hyuga-chen glanced at Senju Tobarama lightly, and then said. Senju Tobarama's semi-commanded tone made Hyuga-chen very upset. If it wasn't for the fact that he was Tsunade's second grandfather, Hyuga-chen would have slashed directly at him, guaranteeing that he would be utterly dissipated. Senju Tobarama fumed. Senju Hashirama suddenly grabbed Tobarama, and said, find a way to stop Uchiha Madara first. He's not the kid of the Uchiha family from before. Susanoo. Uchiha Madara's huge Susanoo pulled out his dagger and swept it down. Senju Hashirama and the others were stopped. In addition to Senju Hashirama, Senju Tobarama and Namikaze Minato, Sarutobi Hiruzen and Jiraiya have been wiped out. But it doesn't matter, it can be resurrected anyway. Just blocking them for a moment is enough. Uchiha Madara quickly hand seal with both hands. 6 paths 10 tails sigil. 10 tails just drawn were absorbed by Uchiha Madara, and Uchiha Madara also became the 10 tails Jinchuriki, column force, but this power was completely incomparable to the previous Uchiha Obito. Becoming 10 tails, Jinchuriki column force, 6 paths Madara took off Uchiha Obito's left eye Rinnegan and placed it in his left eye socket. Since then Uchiha Madara got his Rinnegan back and successfully entered the 6 paths level. I feel that Uchiha Madara's strength is not much worse than mine. Kushina's expression was slightly dignified. She could feel Uchiha Madara's powerful strength. It should be called 6 paths Madara now. His strength is indeed very strong. He has reached the peak of 6 paths. It can be said that he has reached the sky in one step. But it's always the strength of 10 tails. If 10 tails are pulled out, he will be knocked back to his original shape in an instant. Hyuga Chen shook his head and said, why didn't he think of becoming a 10 tails man Jinchuriki column force from the beginning? It is because 10 tails are not their own power at all, they are always just foreign objects. Uchiha Madara glanced at Hyuga Tatsu, and then aimed at Senju Hashirama and the others. Hyuga Chen ignores him first, and solves these people who are in the way, mainly because he doesn't know how to deal with Hyuga Chen now. Madara is really a wise choice. Hyuga Chen said with a smile, but he didn't have the first time to do it with himself. I think he's afraid that he won't be able to beat you. I can feel Otsutsuki Hagoromo's evil chakra, just don't know where he is hiding. Otsutsuki Kagaya looked around. Don't worry, he will appear, after all, this is his chance to harvest chakra. Hyuga Chen glanced at the body of Uzumaki Naruto and said. But you may not really be his opponent, just now that he is not in his lair, I will take you to his lair. Hyuga Chen opened a space cave and walked in. Otsutsuki Kagaya and Kushina walked in with them. 6 paths Madara, who has been following Hyuga Chen, frowned. Where is Hyuga Chen going? It doesn't matter, let's deal with them first. 6 paths Madara looked at Senju Hashirama and the Ninja Alliance in the distance indifferently. Madara, don't make another mistake. Infinite Tsukuyomi is a mistake. There is no point in living in a false dream all the time, Senju Hashirama advised. I said when I left Konoha that I would use my power to create true peace. 6 paths Madara said lightly. Hashirama, you can't deny that you are a loser. After you died, the wars in the major ninja villages continued. Is this what you want? Senju Hashirama is speechless. Brother, stop talking nonsense with him. Don't you know the people of the Uchiha family? 6 paths Madara's eyes flashed coldly. In fact, Uchiha Madara would not have left the village if it wasn't for Senju Tobarama's exclusion of the Uchiha family. Uchiha Madara is proud of himself. In his eyes, only Senju Hashirama can be compared with him. Senju Tobarama is nothing. The anger, Uchiha Madara left the village. Originally, he wanted to leave with the Uchiha family, but at that time the Uchiha family was used to Konoha's life, so they turned their backs on Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Madara, who was already angry, was even more angry, and left Konoha alone in anger. At that time, Uchiha Madara's ideas became more and more extreme and extreme. Finally, he found the stone tablet left by the 6 paths immortal, and learned about the ninjutsu of Infinite Tsukuyomi. Finally, Uchiha Madara decided to launch Infinite Tsukuyomi to achieve peace with Infinite Tsukuyomi. Chapter 439 The Formation of the 8 Inner Gates. Hashirama, you should be the witness of all this. Witness that I am right. 6 paths Madara shot, the black stick in his hand pierced through Senju Hashirama's body. Senju Hashirama was pinned to the ground by 6 paths Madara, and the chakra of his body was disturbed by the black rod, and he couldn't raise the strength to resist at all. What? Senju Tobarama was horrified. Even though he knew that 6 paths Madara was strong now, he didn't expect it to be so powerful. It was only an instant that he defeated his eldest brother. To be precise, his eldest brother didn't react at all, and he didn't even have a chance to fight back. The six paths Madara pressed on Senjuhashirama's body and absorbed Senjuhashirama's Sage Art Chakra. Sage Art Chakra, something that even six paths Madara wants to have. With Senjuhashirama's Sage Art power, six paths Madara feels a little more powerful. It's your turn now. Six paths Madara's gaze turned to Senju Tobarama and the Ninja Alliance. Everyone, be careful, Onoki shouted, the movements of his hands alert. Gudodama Truth-Seeking Ball. Gudodama Truth-Seeking Ball behind six paths Madara flew out, instantly erasing Sarutobi Hiruzen and Jiraiya. Hit by Gudodama Truth-Seeking Ball, Impure World Reincarnation can't repair it. Even if their souls don't exist at this time, Gudodama Truth-Seeking Ball will also cause great damage to the soul. Be careful. Senju Tobarama used the Hiraishin technique to avoid the attack, and then tried to rescue Senju Hashirama. Now only his elder brother has the strength to compete with Six Paths Madara. Want to rescue Hashirama? Six Paths Madara sneered, and a strong gravitational force suddenly erupted in his hand, grabbing Senju Tobarama over. Senju Tobarama leaned against Hiraishin to escape gravity and looked at Six Paths Madara with a solemn expression. Sweetened water style, hard whirlpool water blade. It's useless, any ninjutsu can't do me any harm. Sweetened water style hit Six Paths Madara and didn't do any damage at all. Only the power of Sage Art, Teishu and Six Paths can hurt me, you are not even qualified to hurt me. Six Paths Madara said proudly. He didn't care to say it, just to believe that these people are not capable of hurting him at all, and now the most feared thing in Six Paths Madara is Hyuga-chen. It's just that he doesn't know where Hyuga-chen has gone now. Super Shinra Tensei Almighty Push sign. The huge repulsive force caused the clouds in the sky to be repelled, and the Genin allied forces were killed and injured in one move. Onoki fell to the ground on the verge of dying, staring helplessly at the godlike Six Paths Madara in the sky. This scene was very familiar to him. Hyuga-chen had used this trick before, and they were equally powerless back then, and they didn't even have the ability to resist. Naoki was half kneeling on the ground, and if he hadn't reacted quickly and used Mokuden, wood style, to protect himself, he would now be on the ground like everyone else. Turning around to look at the so-called Ninja Coalition, is it really still the Ninja Coalition now? This blow killed more than half of the Ninja Coalition forces. Fight him. Fourth Raikage got up and rushed forward regardless of his injuries. Yes, the courage is commendable, but the strength is too weak. Six Paths Madara's hand penetrated the heart of the fourth generation of Raikage. Fourth generation Raikage disappeared, and his eyes gradually dimmed, eventually losing all color. 4 generations of Raikage were punched to death by Six Paths Madara. Watching the death of the fourth generation of Raikage, no matter which village the ninja is, there is a feeling of sadness in the death of a rabbit and a fox. If Hyuga-chen is here, I must congratulate Six Paths Madara for finally killing a fairly decent character. The original book, Uchiha Madara, is really awesome, but there are several powerful people who died in his hands, and after all, there is not one. Such an awesome Uchiha Madara didn't even kill a single shadow. Guy stood up silently and looked at Six Paths Madara with determination in his eyes. The 8 inner gates: Dead Gate, Hue Gate, Life Gate, Wound Gate, Do Gate, Jing Gate open. Might Guy emitted blue steam from the evaporation of sweat, and his eyes began to roll. Guy, are you going? Hatake Kakashi looked at Might Guy, shocked. He already knew what Might Guy was going to do, and the 8 inner gates he knew too well. Burn my youth, the 8 inner gates, the gates of death open, the formation of the 8 inner gates. The blue steam on his body turned into the color of Yuhi, and the powerful momentum set off a gust of wind. Oh, do you want to dance too? Then show your strength to please me. Six Paths Madara watched this scene with interest. Shixiang 1 speed. A powerful and unparalleled air cannon was punched out, and it hit Six Paths Madara in an instant. Even Six Paths Madara couldn't react. Just one punch, it created a bottomless pit. Six Paths Madara lay on the ground, her robe was torn, and the horn on her head was broken. What a powerful force! Is this the 8 inner gates? I really want to meet the person who created the 8 inner gates. Six Paths Madara flew up and his eyes became serious. Shixiang's second speed. Enduring the pain, Might Guy didn't stop, because once Shixiang used it, it had to be coherent. Bump! Six Paths Madara's body stopped in midair, unable to move at all. 3 speeds. 4 speed. Six Paths Madara reluctantly manipulated the Gudodama truth-seeking ball, protected himself, and then used the Gudodama truth-seeking ball to hit Might Guy. Guy, attack, I'll help you stop Gudodama truth-seeking ball. Namikaze Minato used Hiraishin to move Gudodama truth-seeking ball away. At this time Hatake Kakashi turns on Mangekyo Sharingan, Kamui. Relying on the space ability Kamui, he successfully twisted the Gudodama truth-seeking ball that Six Paths Madara was protecting himself, revealing the Six Paths Madara inside. 5 speed. One blow hit Six Paths Madara's body, shattering even Gudodama truth-seeking ball. Six Paths Madara spat out a mouthful of blood, smashing her body on the ground, creating a deep pit in the ground. Cough cough tilde. Six Paths Madara forced her body to stand up. Your name is Might Guy, right? I recognize you. You are the person I have ever met with the strongest physical skills except Hyuga Chen. Still can't kill him? Then only use the last blow, Might Guy. Might Guy didn't waste time and Six Paths Madara nonsense at all. After opening the 8 inner gates, every 3.0 seconds is consuming life, and even the next second may die. Might Guy kicked out a Yuhi-colored dragon, which directly distorted the space. Six Paths Madara is horrified, although he is in the state of both eyes now, not the state of one eye in the original book, and has all the power, but still can't compete with Guy Yi. The Six Paths Tin Rod in front of him, the space was distorted, and even the Six Paths Tin Rod was distorted. A kick hit Six Paths Madara, dragging a deep trace on the ground. Six Paths Madara was lying on the ground, half of his body had been kicked to ashes by Might Guy, and Might Guy was in even worse condition and was already a candle in the wind. You bastard, almost killed me. Six Paths Madara's body recovered quickly, and soon it all recovered. However, Might Guy's whole body is about to become coke, and he is likely to die in the next second. Chapter 440 Let the Six Paths Fairy Call Daddy. You bastard, die for me. Under the control of Six Paths Madara, Gudodama truth-seeking ball hit Might Guy, who was in the wind. Just as he was about to kill Might Guy, the dead Uzumaki Naruto suddenly popped out, covered in golden light, and kicked the Gudodama truth-seeking ball of Six Paths Madara. Might Guy who is about to die. It's you, Hyuga 9 Tails, Jinchuriki, Column Force, you're not dead. It's amazing, it seems that you have an unknown secret. Six Paths Madara squinted. Ouch tilde it seems that everything is here, do you want to continue to hide? Hyuga Chen walked out of the space cave, followed by Kushina and Otsutsuki Kagaya. Otsutsuki Hagoromo, who was hiding in the dark, heard this and walked out silently. Can you spot me? Otsutsuki Hagoromo asked, frowning. Your clumsy concealment technique doesn't exist in my eyes at all. Hyuga-chan said disdainfully. Are you a Six Paths fairy? Six Paths Madara asked. That's right, I am the creator of peaceful order, immortal Six Paths. Hyuga-chen, you killed Sasuke. Uzumaki Naruto suddenly looked at Hyuga-chen with hatred. Did you only know now? Hyuga-chen asked suspiciously. It had been a long time since he killed Sasuke, but Uzumaki Naruto didn't know it until now. Uzumaki Naruto did just know, and Otsutsuki Hagoromo told him. I must avenge Sasuke. Uzumaki Naruto shouted angrily. His good friend died, and Uzumaki Naruto's mood fluctuated violently. At this time, he doesn't care what Uchiha Sasuke died for, and now he just wants to avenge Uchiha Sasuke. Hyuga-chen, your existence has completely affected the order of the ninja world. Otsutsuki Hagoromo looked at Hyuga-chen with serious eyes, and at the same time he couldn't help but aim at Otsutsuki Kagaya behind Hyuga-chen. His brows furrowed tightly. He didn't expect his mother to break the seal and stand with Hyuga-chen, who made him feel awkward. Otsutsuki Hagoromo, you should admit that Kagaya is your mother. She used yin and yang to create you and give you life, right? What are you trying to say? The Six Paths sage narrowed her eyes. I want to tell you, now that Kagaya is my woman, you should call Lao Su daddy. Hyuga-chen slapped the Six Paths fairy flying, and then stepped on his head. Everyone in the ninja world has not recovered from the surprise of the legendary Six Paths Immortal, who suddenly walked from the legend to the reality, and saw that the Six Paths Immortal was trampled under their feet. Aren't Six Paths fairies gods? Why is God being trampled underfoot? My dear son, call Dad to listen now, Hyuga-chen said in a cold voice. Otsutsuki Hagoromo was angry, and without saying a word, he tried to throw Hyuga-chen away with all his strength, but he couldn't move at all. I asked you to call me daddy, didn't you hear me? Hyuga-chen grabbed one of Otsutsuki Hagoromo's arms, then pulled it down. Ah! Otsutsuki Hagoromo's miserable cry could be heard more than 10 kilometers away. The corners of the ninja's mouth twitched. The legendary Six Paths fairy, the fairy who created the world, was actually stepped on and called Dad. Six Paths Madara clenched his fists. He didn't know how strong the Six Paths Immortal was, but he was definitely not weaker than him. However, with such strength, Hyuga-chen stepped on it, and he didn't even have the ability to resist. So the question is, how strong is Hyuga-chen? As the god of the ninja world, it's too embarrassing to scream out loud. Didn't you say that my existence affects the order? Then why don't you, the creator of the peaceful order of the world, do something? You are lying on the ground like a dead dog. Isn't this detrimental to your image? Stand up and fight. Hyuga-chen said lightly. Chen seems to be a little grumpy, Kushina said, pinching her chin. It's a bit irritable indeed. Otsutsuki Kagaya nodded dumbly. I want to avenge Sasuke. Uzumaki Naruto rushed towards Hyuga-chen like a stunned young man. Naruto, don't go over there. Namikaze Minato shouted. I don't blame myself for seeking death. A sword of light appeared in Hyuga-chen's hand, Tiankong Yunjian. At Uzumaki Naruto, and then Uzumaki Naruto was split into two halves from head to toe by Amazumi Cloud Sword. Boom! The earth cracked, and Uzumaki Naruto's body fell into the cracked earth. This time Uzumaki Naruto was completely dead, the whole person was divided into two halves, and the soul was wiped out by Hyuga-chen using Yin Escape, and could not be resurrected at all. Namikaze Minato stared blankly at this scene, until after a long time, he couldn't believe it. Hyuga-chen, why? Because he's courting death himself. If you want to court death too, I don't mind sending you to the ground. Hyuga-chen said lightly. Maybe Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke have a deep bond and are worth moving, but if he wants to kill himself, Hyuga-chen will not let him go. Come on then. Naruto is my son, and I have to avenge him. Namikaze Minato Hiraishin threw it at Hyuga-chen. Even if he knew that he was defeated, he would still shoot. This is your own death. Hyuga-chen kicked the Six Paths Immortal, and then a gray bone appeared in his hand. All-killing ash bones. Bone stabbed at Namikaze Minato's body, and the body of Namikaze Minato in pure world reincarnation collapsed instantly. Actually, it's not wrong for Uzumaki Naruto to seek revenge on me, but his strength is too weak. In this world, weakness is a mistake. Hyuga-chen said flatly. Why do I feel that Chen is the final villain? Naoki looked at Hyuga-chen speechlessly. Otsutsuki Hagoromo, who was kicked away, got up and came to Six Paths Madara's side. Madara, let's work with 710 now. Cooperation. I think you are using me to deal with Hyuga-chen. Six Paths Madara saw Otsutsuki Hagoromo's intention at a glance. Don't you think so in your heart? Only when the two of us join forces can we deal with Hyuga-chen. Otsutsuki Hagoromo said lightly. To be honest, Otsutsuki Hagoromo did underestimate Hyuga-chen, otherwise how could he be so embarrassed now? But he was embarrassed, and now Otsutsuki Hagoromo is not hurt. Was torn apart by Hyuga-chen has also recovered. Although Otsutsuki Hagoromo is no longer the Ten-Tails Jinchuriki column force, his recovery force is not much slower than that of Six Paths Madara. Six Paths Madara is thinking, to be honest, seeing Hyuga-chen's current strength, Six Paths Madara is already frightened, and really doesn't want to be an enemy of Hyuga-chen, and now Six Paths Madara just wants to complete Infinite Tsukuyomi. But will Hyuga-chen let him finish Infinite Tsukuyomi? Six Paths Madara didn't know that either. Seeing Six Paths Madara unmoved, Otsutsuki Hagoromo felt a little anxious. Do you think Hyuga-chen will let you go? You should understand the principle that the first is the strongest. Six Paths Madara's heart was a little shaken. In fact, originally, he also wanted to cooperate with Otsutsuki Hagoromo to fight against Hyuga-chen together. But now, Hyuga-chen's strength is too strong. Six Paths Madara doesn't want to be the enemy of Hyuga-chen, so he is also struggling.